What's going on, everybody? David here. Another travel video. We're going to talk about what is your favorite travel card. So first off, before I get started, we're going to wait a little bit for some people to come in, but please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. And every Sunday I do a live stream, but I also just jump on from time to time and just do a stream if I have some time. So I really want to focus on travel on a budget. I'll get into some photography and things like that. I probably won't talk too much about photography in this video, but in future videos we're going to start talking a little bit more about travel photography because that's what I do a lot of, and we'll also talk about traveling on a budget because that's what it's all about. I realized that a couple of years ago when. Actually, it was 3 years ago. I went to Puerto Rico and I paid so much money to do that trip. And I had a good time, but I just could have done it a lot better. And I would have been able to enjoy myself a lot more because I could have stayed in nicer hotels, flown on a nicer airline, flown business class, all that stuff. And the thing that I wasn't doing, the one thing that I wasn't doing is, well, there are two things I wasn't doing. The one thing was I didn't do much research when it came to booking my flight and all that stuff. I just kind of jumped in. I didn't know anything about Google Flights at the time. So I just kind of jumped in, and I can't even remember. I think I flew on JetBlue, probably JetBlue, which is a great airline. And I probably could have saved a little bit of money there. Then I got to the hotel and I spent money that I didn't really need to spend. And I didn't even stay like on the beach. I was staying more inland, and I paid too much money for it. So it's one of those deals where if you do the right things and you work out things right, then you don't have to worry about it. Like if you use points, you're going to be in good shape. So if you guys come in the chat, I see there's a few people in here already. Just let me know that you're here, and let me know where you guys are coming from. So what state you're coming from, what country you're coming from. And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about, I'm going to tell you my favorite travel card, and then we're going to talk about what's your favorite travel card. So then you guys can put it in the chat, tell me what your favorite travel card is, and tell me why it's your favorite travel card. And then we'll kind of discuss some of the questions that you guys put out there as far as what are some of the statements, I guess I should say, that you guys put out there as far as your favorite travel card. So let's open the chat up. So let's see what's going on in here. All right, Reckless Rican, how you doing? Kai, how you doing? Have you ever been to Belize? I have not been to Belize. I don't think it's a good time right now. I think there's stuff going on in Guatemala, Belize, Venezuela. So I'm kind of staying away from those countries. I would love to go to Belize though. I'd love to go to Guatemala as well. I'd even like to go to Venezuela once everything settles down there. Actually, in 3 weeks, I talked about this in the last stream, but in 3 weeks I'll be going to, actually, I keep saying 3 weeks. It's actually next week. So next Friday I'll be on a plane headed to Colombia, one of my favorite destinations. And so I'll be there for, maybe there 10 days. Let's see. No, actually, yeah, 10 days. 10 days, 9 days. I'll be there 9 days. I'm going out there for Carnival, and that's going to be a blast. I've never been to a Carnival before, and this is the second largest Carnival in the world. The first, obviously, is Rio, but I plan to this is going to be an amazing trip. So I'll be documenting everything. I'll be putting out some videos. I'll try to, my whole goal is, and I'm going to try to set myself up beforehand. When I say set myself up, editing is the longest process of putting out YouTube videos. So in a lot of situations, you can go out, I can film 2-3 different videos, like different things. Let's say I go to a restaurant, I can film that, do a little review there. I can film on the way up there, on the plane, do a little review there and talk a little bit about that. And so I can film all these videos, but the hardest part, or the thing that takes the most time, is editing those videos. And so I'm gonna try to do some shortcuts where I kind of like I'll have kind of an idea of what I'm gonna film, and then I'll be able to edit it a lot quicker as long as I kind of keep to a script. So I'm going to work on that this time, because what I do, and I still have so much video. I mean, I've gone in the last year. I went where did I go? Costa Rica, Aruba, Colombia, Thailand, and I have all these videos, like all this footage, and I haven't really done much with it. And the major reason is when I got back, then I'm editing and I'm trying to do new videos, and I'm doing the travel credit card videos, and I'm trying to do the travel videos as well. So I'm really going to set myself up this time, because I definitely want to get the Barranquilla, because I'm going to Barranquilla Carnival stuff out there so it's fresh and people see it when it's actually happening. So it will start March 2nd. It will end March 5th. And so I'll be there from March 2nd through March 6th. Or not through March 6th, from March 2nd and then through March 5th. So then on March 6th, I'm headed up to Medellin, and I just went to Medellin last year. It's been almost a year. So back in May of last year, I went, and I had the time of my life there. So I'll go there. I'm going to stay in a different area this time, and I'm just going to document that as well. So put out more YouTube videos. I will still do my best to do live streams. Now, even if I don't have a good signal, I'm going to put something out there live, so you guys will be able to see that and join in and ask me about the cities and all that stuff. The only issue is the internet. So generally the internet in Colombia is pretty good. Like in Medellin, it was fine, but I've never done a live stream before in Medellin. So this is going to be new to me. So I'm hoping that I'm good with the live streams. If I have to go to my phone and find Wi-Fi, maybe the hotel Wi-Fi will be fast enough. I don't know. I'm just going to play it by ear. One good thing about Colombia is they have Wi-Fi everywhere, and it's funny. Back let's see, 8 years ago. Wow, it's been 11 years. Or 8 years, no, not 11 years, 10 years. 10 years ago, I went to Colombia for the first time. So in 2008, I went out there. And even back then, they had Wi-Fi at all the restaurants, free Wi-Fi. And even here, we didn't have Wi-Fi at a lot of different places. And I live in Los Angeles. And so it was just funny to me. Every restaurant we went to had free Wi-Fi, and they all had it posted. And maybe it was because I was in a tourist area, so that's probably why it was so prevalent in that area. But everywhere we went, they had free Wi-Fi. Go to Medellin, same thing, free Wi-Fi. All the restaurants, free Wi-Fi. And so I've never been to Barranquilla. I'm going to Barranquilla, so we'll see. Hopefully, I'm sure they're going to have free Wi-Fi. And in most of the stores and stuff, or not stores, most of the restaurants and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to see if I can do a little bit of sit down, maybe go eat something, have the carnival in the background, have my little computer out, and see if we can do a live stream. Or like I said, pull out my phone and do a live stream that way. I haven't used my phone for live stream, so that's gonna be kind of interesting to do that. All right, so let's get back to the topic, and actually let's see who else is in here. I don't know. It looks like was it telling me to go down here? Looks like there's more info on here. Let's see. Kai. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my okay, that's weird. It just, for whatever reason, it wasn't showing me all of the messages in the chat. Okay, so we went by, so Reckless, Kai, how you guys doing? James, how you doing? Who else is on here? It's Kai again. So who asked me that question before? So Belize. So I answered that question. I've never been to Belize. I do want to go, but right now things are a little, some countries are a little shaky right now. So I don't want to go down there just right this second, but I do want to go there. And let's see what else we have. Kai, stuck in Virginia. Wow, is it snowing out there? I would imagine it probably is. Okay, Jay from Chicago, how you doing? So James, Mount Olive, Illinois. Okay, I said Illinois, didn't I? Illinois. Wow. What's going on, Lionel from Chicago? Walker, what's up? And let's see. Lionel, big fan of. Okay, so let me talk about my card, and then we'll kind of go. We'll find out what are the other, because people are starting to talk about their cards now. So let me talk about the card that I think is my favorite card. And this is probably not going to be any surprise to you guys, but the Chase Sapphire Reserve is my ultimate card at the present time. Now, it's not going to always be. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a card that's going to jump ahead of that card. Even though they've kind of downgraded a few things with the card, it's still my all-time favorite card. And the main reason why, well, one of the things that I really liked about what Chase did is I had the Chase Sapphire Preferred at the time, and I didn't hear much, and maybe I wasn't really tuned into the gossip with the travel cards and all that stuff, or the rumors, I should say, with the travel cards. But I didn't really hear much about this card until they launched it, and they launched it 100,000 point bonus. And this was one of those cards where I never had a top tier card. I never had a $450 annual fee card or higher, and so I was still stuck on the $95, and $95 is too much. That's the way I felt about it. But I was still relatively new. Like, I'd used points in the past, so I knew how they worked, and I knew they were beneficial, but I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now. And so that card launched, I went ahead and picked it up, paid that $450 annual fee. I think it came like a month after. I remember I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be crazy. I got to pay $450 for this card. But then at that time, they gave you the travel credit right up front. And so I did have the $300 travel credit, and this is the first card that I had that allowed me priority pass, so lounge access. And so I loved it. Like, you go to the airport and you look for a lounge, and at the time it's still all new to me, right? So I had never stayed in a lounge before, and so just going to stay in a lounge in an airport was just that alone was nice, right? Now that I've been to a few different lounges, and I know, okay, they're top tier lounges, and there's some lounges that are just average lounges, and then there's some that are just not good at all. They might have comfortable seats, but everything else, comfortable seats and Wi-Fi, but everything else they lack. So at that point, I started using this card for all those different things. I used it for, I think I rented a car. I used the primary insurance when I was in Hawaii. I've been just using that card for pretty much everything. All my spend, for the most part, I'm using it for restaurants. I'm using it for my travel. Like I said, you get the travel credits. I use that. And the travel credits, it's a pleasant surprise for me, because I don't really watch it. So every year that goes by, and this is the third year that I've had this card, going on the third year. Because I know I picked up the travel credit 3 times. So I got it initially, and back in the day, I got it in August, and I can't remember if it was August 2017 or 2016, I'm not sure. But I got it in August. They gave me the travel credit up front, and then I got another travel credit in January of the following year. So that was nice. And then now I got another. So maybe, yeah, I've had it like a year, 2 years. So yeah, I use that card all the time. That is my go-to card for pretty much anything. And I do have a few other cards that I will use specifically because they give me more earn possibilities when it comes to, like, I have the Chase Inc. Business Plus card. That card gives you 5 times points at Staples. It also gives you 5 times points on, like, if you're paying your bills, like internet bill, cable bill, what other one? Phone, and I think those are the 3. But it gives you, so you get that 5 times back on that, and I have a business that I run out of my house, so I'm able to get 5 times back on that every month. And then if I go to Staples, which I go to Staples from time to time, I like the way they have their whole setup where you can order stuff online. And that's another thing. If you go through the portal online, you're going to get points for that. So whatever it is, 2 points or 3 points per dollar. And then you can also get the 5 times points because you're using the Chase Ink Business card, Business Plus card, which gives you 5 times back at Staples. So you can really maximize. I don't go to Staples as much as I should, but you can really maximize with that card. So there are a few other cards that I'll jump in and use every once in a while, or if I'm trying to hit the minimum spend on a card like I'm hitting the minimum spend right now, then I won't use my Chase Sapphire Reserve. But by far, that's my favorite card, and I can't think of another card right now that I would rather have, or much like even all the new cards that have come out. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is still the one that's comes with me everywhere I go. Like, I'll have cards that I'll just leave at home, even when I go on trips. I don't need to bring all my cards. So there are some cards that I'll just leave at home, and I don't have that many cards. Like we talked about this, I have 7 cards total. So there are only 4 now, 5 because I'm hitting the minimum spend on one. There's only really 4 cards that I go to on a regular basis. So so that's my favorite card. So now we're gonna look in the chat. I just want to see what you guys consider your favorite cards are, and then we'll talk about each one. So I want you guys to let me know why is this card your favorite? What kind of value do you get out of the card? What are some of the perks? And like, there are always hidden perks with cards that they might not put out there. I don't know. And lately, and I've done a few reviews of cards, and for whatever reason, I'm seeing different situations where they're not putting out all the perks that the card offers. And maybe it's a money thing where they want to put out some things, but they might know they're going to lose money in certain areas if you use this, or if you overuse it. Kind of like the 4th night free with the City Prestige card. They promoted that, obviously, but they got to the point where they realized some people are really making out. If it's unlimited, people are making out really good. If you're traveling for business and you're always out and you're using that 4th night on all your trips, then you're really, I guess they realized they're really losing money from that. So that's why they had to pull back on that. All right, so let's look. And it's only one, so we're only going to pick one card. And we're going to talk about why we think it's the best. So Lionel, big fan of Chase Sapphire Reserve and City Premier. Okay. Now the City Premier, that's an interesting card, Lionel. And the only reason, like, you must really like the travel partners, because I don't like the travel partners they have. So if you can elaborate, let us know if you've used the card. What airlines have you flown on? I think Hilton is a part of the thank you points, so you can use it for that. So I'd really like to know that. And so in this chat, this stream is all about us helping each other out. So when it comes down to it, I just want to know what your opinions are, because I can tell you what I use, but I want to know what you use and why you use it. And maybe that will influence people to think, oh, you know what, I never really thought of that card, or I never really thought of this. I was talking to oh God, I can't remember his name. Anyway, I just subscribed to his channel. If you're on the chat, let me know. I think it's Will or something like that. Anyway, or maybe it's Walker. It's Walker. All right, it's you, Walker. Yeah, you. So I just subscribed to his channel, and he has a channel. So if you guys, and Walker, you can go ahead and post a link if you want to, so everyone else can check your channel out. He loves Spirit. Okay, Spirit Airlines, and I'm anti-Spirit Airlines, but I watched a few of his videos and I learned some things, right? So I didn't know they have, like they do, I don't know how many seats they have in the front, but they do have some seats in the front that you can pay a little extra for that they're like business class seats. They don't offer you really any, I don't think they offer you any amenities, or I don't even know if they offer you beverages and stuff like that. But it's a decent size, nice, like a traditional business, domestic flight business seat, so it doesn't lie all the way back. But I had no clue that they even had that on their plane. I've never been on a Spirit Airlines plane. I've only seen pictures, and I do see the seats that they have. It doesn't have any. It's like bare minimum. The ones that I've seen, they're bare minimum. They don't even have like a cushion on the back of the seat, or a screen or anything like that. It's just like a I don't know. I don't even know how to explain the seat, but you know what I mean. It's just like a hard seat with not much cushion or anything on it. I mean, if there's cushion on the front when you sit down, but on the back, in the back end, what people are looking at, it's just kind of like a jet seat, or I don't know. It's an interesting looking thing. So anyway, so I learned things, right? So I get on there, I check a few things out, and I'm like, okay, well, if I was I hate to say this, but if I was in a bind and I wanted to go to Colombia, because they do go to Colombia, I would. I mean, when I say if I was in a bind, if I'm at the airport and for whatever reason things go wrong and they only have a few flights going out and Spirit's one of them, then I would bite the bullet, because I want to get to where I'm going, right? So I would probably bite the bullet and I'd try to get on those front seats, knowing that they have them now. So in the past, I wouldn't even consider it. And you know, there are some planes that don't even have anything when it comes to business class. All the seats are economy. That's the way I thought the Spirit was, but they're not. So that's good. Okay, let's look at some other stuff here. Kai, not crazy with those top tier cards, but might have way to product change the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So Kai's not really. He's saying he's not really big on the top tier cards. It doesn't have to be a top tier card to be your favorite. I mean, it could be any card. And I would tell you, before Chase Sapphire Reserve, my favorite card was the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So it doesn't have to be a top tier card. It's just the card that you use the most, that you like the most, that gives you the best benefits. And there's no, and I say this over and over again, there is no perfect card, or there's no card that's better than all the other cards. You just need to look at the card that works for you. And this card, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, it works for me. And like I said, the lounge access, I love having lounge access. There's nothing better than being able to get away from the everyone in the terminal and all that, just for a little bit. I don't have to go. Generally, I'm not in the lounge until my flight is boarding. Usually I'll go to the lounge and just relax a little bit, and then I'll come back out and kind of walk around and do things. But you have somewhere else to go that's separate from the regular terminal, so that's nice. And plus, it's nice. You have friends with you. Hey, let's go to the lounge. Let's go get some water. Let's go to get that. You have family members with you. You do the same thing, so you're able to just kind of go somewhere where not everyone can go. So it's nice. All right, let's see. So like I said, we're not talking about the top tier cards, and I want to know the cards that you use. So not just, oh, the Amex Platinum, but I don't even have the Amex Platinum. You know what I mean? So tell me the cards that you have, that you use, that you like, and that you would recommend as your favorite, and you would recommend to others and say, hey, yeah, you should try this card. Okay, let's see. Jay, how you doing? Just got the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and it's the best. I'm racking up a ton of points. Yeah, it's a good card, Jay. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. And if you haven't used it yet, as far as if you haven't had Priority Pass and stuff like that, strongly encourage you to sign up for it. You do need to sign up, so it's not automatic. But sign up for it so you can get that Priority Pass card. They'll send it to you. I think they're still sending out the cards. They have an app on your phone now that you can use, and you don't need to have the card. As a matter of fact, now that I think about that, now that I'm thinking about that, I need to check to see if I have the card, because I like to bring the card anyway, just in case I don't have internet access, or I guess if I'm in the lounge, they'll probably let me use it just to show. But yeah, so you can have the app, but you can also have the actual card. And usually when I go in, I just have the card and I just show them the card. So make sure you sign up for that if you haven't done that already. So Kai, I'm heavily into Amex points. All right, Kai. So what card's your favorite? All right, Benny Lynn, did you say that the Amex Gold was better than the Chase Sapphire Reserve in one of your videos? I might have said that it's better in certain categories, like for earn possibilities. Let's say you're going to U.S. restaurants and U.S. Grocery stores, but as far as an overall card, a card that will give me the most benefits, And I'm not just looking at the earn possibility on the card, although that's very important to me. I'm also looking at what else can it give me. If I rent a car, am I going to get primary car insurance? If I go to an airport, am I going to have an opportunity to go to get lounge access? So different things like that. So I'm looking at the whole card. I'm not just looking at the earn possibility. I think in certain categories, the Amex Gold, yes, they stand out because they give you a better earn. But when it comes to Priority Pass, they don't offer that. When it comes to the primary car insurance, they don't offer that. So that's what I'm looking at. So it's just, I'm looking at the big picture. So this is the card that I think is the best for me right now. And the Amex Platinum Gold combination, that could be in my future. And I might even like those two cards better than the Chase Sapphire Reserve because I can get more with those two cards. However, I'm going to be paying more in annual fees because it's $550 for the Platinum and then $250 for the Amex Gold. I think that combination is really good, but I don't have that right now. So the card that I have right now that I like right now is definitely the Chase Sapphire Reserve. All right, what else are we saying? All right, Reckless Rican, come back to Puerto Rico. We'll treat you with some good food and tour. I will go back to Puerto Rico. I'm gonna set aside some time. I do want to go back to Puerto Rico. I haven't been back there since the hurricane, but I was out there. Yeah, it was like I think it was like 3 years ago, and I had a good time. It's like I said, the only thing was I just spent way too much money not knowing. Like I didn't have any knowledge, and I don't know if I think you were in here, Rican, when we were talking about this, but yeah, I just didn't have the knowledge as far as I wasn't using points. I kind of knew a little bit about, okay, you can earn points here, you can earn points there. I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express, which was okay. I stayed at what was the other hotel? It's another hotel. It's like an off-brand. It wasn't an off-brand. I can't think of the name of the whole Hampton. It might have been a Hampton or something like that. But I just got on hotels.com, and then that's what came up. So that's where I stayed. And I was thinking back then, okay, hotels.com, it's great, and it is great. Hotels.com is great. Yeah, it's a good setup, and they're set up with Amex Gold, right? You get 10 points for every dollar spent on one card. I can't even think of the card offhand. I think it's the Amex Gold. But anyway, at the time, that was like, I was good with that. Is it Amex Platinum? Now that's bugging me. If you guys remember, on hotels.com, you get 10 points or 10 times points on a travel card, but I can't remember the card. But anyway, yeah, they have a pretty good program, and I actually use them for when I go to Colombia next week. I'm staying in Barranquilla. In Barranquilla, no Hyatts, which really bothers me, but you know, either I'm going to stay committed or I'm going to go somewhere else. So I'm staying at a Hilton. I think I'm staying at a Hampton Inn, or no, Hilton Garden Inn. But I went on hotels.com and booked it there because, you know, they give you the little, if you're on your 10th night free, then you get a free night stay, but they average out how much you pay for each night, that kind of thing. So I'm using them for that. I don't always have an opportunity to use my points or even to stay in Airbnb. Like in the situation when I booked it in just enough time before the prices really start jumping up. And now the Airbnbs, and when I say Airbnb, like bare minimum, one room, like you get your own private room, but it's not your own apartment, that kind of stuff. And it's going for $150, $200 a night. Just because of the Carnival. They're going to have, I think they said it's a small city. They're going to have like over 1 million. I think over 1 million people are coming to the city for Carnival. So, all right, let's see what else we have out here. If you go to Belize, avoid Belize City at all costs. You'll be fine. Laugh out loud. Okay, so that's Kai saying that. Yeah, like I said, I'm not opposed to Belize. Just right now, I'm going to kind of just take it easy with that. Amex points are great. Amex trip, protections are not good at all. Okay, so that's Lionel saying that. I agree, Amex points are good. They have some good travel partners or transfer partners. So that's good. Let's see. Life for Business. Chase Sapphire is actually better than the gold card for dining because of the UR bonus. The UR bonus, what are you referring to, the bonus? Life for a business. What are you referring to? The bonus. You said reserve. Okay. So like I would agree. If you look at it like this, and this is where the Amex Gold kind of falls off because of this, just the U.S. restaurants and U.S. grocery stores. Well, grocery stores we won't even talk about because if you're comparing the two cards, so the U.S. restaurants. So if I do have that card overseas or in a foreign country, I'm not going to use that card. Whereas a Chase Sapphire Reserve, I can use it in the U.S. as well as when I go to another country, I can use it at restaurants. Because what do you do if you're out? If you're traveling to another country, the main thing that you spend money on once you booked your airfare and your hotel is restaurants, because we generally don't make our own food for the most part. So you're going to spend a lot of money at restaurants. And so that's why the Chase Sapphire Reserve kind of inches ahead in that category. Now, I've always said the Amex Gold is a great card for earn because I'm doing most of my earning in the U.S. and then I travel. So as long as I have another card that complements that, so let's say I have that Chase Sapphire Reserve and then I decide at some point to get the Amex Platinum, or I'm sorry, the Amex Gold, then I'm fine because I can earn with the Amex Gold when I'm here, book my travel, book my hotel, or book my airfare, book my hotel. When I get to that other country, I can still use the Chase Sapphire Reserve there and still maximize my points. So that's kind of how I see that playing out if I were to get the card in the future. But they're both great cards. They're both great cards. So, all right, let's see what else we have here. Okay, James, my favorite card is the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but I will not have it until May 2019 when I'll be able to upgrade to it from the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I recently got the City Prestige card. So how do you like the Prestige card, James? Let us know how you like that card. But yeah, in the Chase Sapphire Prestige, or the City Prestige is a great card as well. But I just, like I said, I'm sticking with the Reserve for now. Kai, best to use transfer partners. Yeah, so if you're making a statement, yes. If you're asking a question, yes. It's best to use transfer partners when you're trying to book airfare and even book hotels. I don't use that many points when I don't use points that much for hotel stays. Very, very infrequently will I do that. And the main reason, you can use a lot of points to stay just a week at a hotel. One thing I like about Hyatt is even when, depending on what level hotel you're staying in, you can stay at a Hyatt Place, which is their lower level hotel. It's nice, you get free breakfast, and you usually don't have to spend that many points, from 5,000 to, God, it doesn't go 5, 6, 8,000 maybe. It just depends, and then a lot of times I will do the points plus cash thing where I break it down even more. So I'm fine with staying at a Hyatt Place. If I find a Hyatt Place, like in Costa Rica, when we went there, found a Hyatt Place, we were set. And it was a perfect Hyatt Place because it was inside of a strip mall. And so we had everything within walking distance as far as like food and stuff like that. But if we wanted to go anywhere else, like Costa Rica, the country is very small and everything is spread out, like all the different attractions. So we were lucky enough to meet up with one of the airport shuttle drivers also did excursions and stuff like that. So we set up an excursion at the Hyatt Place. And the first day we went out, he took us out. And I can't even remember where we went, but he drove us around. And so I always do this. And this is something that maybe if you're comfortable enough to do this, there are a few things that I always do. So anytime I'm getting in a taxi, Uber, anything, any vehicle, I always sit in the front seat. And my buddy, he likes to sit in the back seat. But I always sit in the front seat. I will never sit in the back seat if I can, if I can avoid it. Like obviously, if there's someone in the front seat, I can't sit in the front seat. But I always sit in the front seat, and I always chat up whoever's driving, ask them questions, work on my Spanish, that kind of stuff. And they have all the information. Like they can tell you the best restaurants to go to, the best clubs to go to. They can tell you everything, the best attractions, how to get to different places. They have so much information. And so that's one of the reasons why I always sit in the front seat and I'm always chatting them up. And the other reason is I get a feel for them. So I'm talking to them, I'm trying to find out, I'm feeling them out basically, saying, hey, this, that. See how, if they speak English, see if they speak English well. Do I have a good rapport with that person? And then on the way back from wherever we're going, if I do like them, I'm hitting them up like, hey, how about this? Can you take us tomorrow morning? Can you take us here, here, and here? How much would you charge us? And then we haggle the price. And it's worked for us, because usually what I do is me and my buddy, we go out, we do landscape photography. So we'll go out to all these different countries, and there are all these different places that I want to go and take pictures. And a lot of them aren't places that the excursions, the group excursions will take you to. And I don't like going on group excursions because when you go on a group excursion, you're with a group. So when you go, they go to wherever the spot is. Let's say in Thailand, we went to Big Buddha in Phuket. They take you to Big Buddha, you're there for 20 minutes, they tell you, okay, we're gonna round up in 20 minutes, you gotta get back. So you don't have time to do things. If you go with someone that just takes you, it's just you, right? You don't have to worry about getting back on the bus with everybody else. Plus you have your own privacy. I can leave my stuff, like part of my stuff in the car, that kind of stuff if I wanna do that. Like if my camera equipment and stuff like that. I generally take my expensive stuff, but let's say I have tripods or I have some other stuff that's a little larger that I might not want to take out everywhere that I go, but there's certain areas where I want to use it. So if we're just going to walk the street for a little bit, I don't need to take the tripod. I can just walk the street and take pictures and what have you. So I always sit in the front seat. I always chat that person up. I always try to get as much information as I can from them. And then if I like them, then I hit them up and say, hey, look, how about taking us out tomorrow? And then we haggle on a price, and then we go out the next day. And if things are good, all right, I want to go here, here, and here. So I do my research. So I know the different places I want to go. Then I tell them I want to go here, here, and here. How about taking us the next day? And this is the best thing for people, especially like when I went to Colombia the last time. I went to Medellin in May. There was an Uber driver, and Uber's not legal out there. So that's another thing too. Certain countries, Uber is not legal in Colombia, and the reason it's not legal is because it's not regulated. They haven't started regulating it yet. So you can get the app, and you have internet, Wi-Fi, what have you. So you can still have cars come to you, and they will pick you up and they will take you. But a lot of times in Colombia, they're going to want you to sit in the front seat because they don't want it to look like they're taking a fare, right? They don't want people to realize that it's Uber. So don't be shocked if you see Uber. You won't see the Uber sticker, but you see a car pull up and you don't see the sticker, and you're thinking, "Wow, is this guy going to jack me or what?" It's not that. It's just that they don't. It's not legal. It's accepted. People do it. At the airport, it's really hard. So if you go to Medellin, and you get out of the airport, you're probably not going to be able to get an Uber because the taxis have really clamped down on that area, and they won't let Uber drivers in there. They know who the Uber drivers are, and so if they see them, they'll report it to the authorities, and the Uber drivers end up getting a ticket or what have you. So yeah, be aware of that. It's not legal, but sit in the front seat. And like I said, when I went to Colombia, we actually ran into an Uber driver because he spoke perfect English. And it shocked me. Like, he's talking to us, and I'm thinking, where's this guy from? You know, oh, he grew up in Los Angeles, or not Los Angeles, Southern California until he was like 10 years old, and then he moved back to Colombia. And so he chatted us up, and then he told us, he's like, hey, you know, they see me talking to you, and if they see us go in the car, then they're going to report me, and I could get a ticket. So I can't take you, but I'll give you my business card. So he gave us his business card, and we went out with him that same night, went to a club that later on that night. And then from there, we're at the club, I start talking with him and tell him, hey, I want to go here, here, and here. How much would you charge? And we were paying him about $100 a day. Now you have to think, $100 a day, the average for a Colombian, the average monthly salary for them is $700. That's a monthly salary. We were there for 5 days. We went out with him 4 days. We gave him $100 every day that he came down. So he's making really good money, and he knows where his next paycheck's going. He doesn't have to worry about, oh, am I going to get an Uber fare today or what have you. He knows he's going to get money from us because it was just set. So it's a good situation for both of us. We're able to go where we want to go and not have to go with the excursions, and then he's able to make good money. So that's, you know, I've talked about this before in other videos. Always sit in the front seat. Always sit in the front seat. At least one of you guys, just to find out what's going on, especially when you first get there. When you first come in, sit in the front seat and chat them up and go that route. Even when I went to Paris, I did the same thing. Sat in the front seat, chatted the guy up. It was Uber driver. Uber's legal out there, so it was an Uber driver, and I ended up not using him anymore, but he gave me his business card. I could have called him if I wanted to, but the subway system is really good in Paris, so I was able to just use the subway, and it was a lot cheaper and a lot easier. All right, let's see. Where did we leave off? Okay. How often you'll use the portal to get 1.5? So Kai's asking me how often I would use a portal to get 1.5. So 1.5 points per dollar. I don't, do they even have, I don't even think it goes that low. Like a portal, or if you're talking, or maybe you're talking about the travel portal. I'm thinking about the shopping portals. I don't use the travel portals at all. The only time that I would even consider using a travel portal is if I'm in a situation where I can't be flexible at all. I have to fly out on this day around this time, and I don't want to have any connectors, or I have to be very, very, it has to be a situation where I don't have much room to be flexible. If I don't have much room to be flexible, I would consider using the travel portal. Excuse me. To this day, I've never used a travel portal. And that's because the points, in most cases, I like to travel. In most cases, I like to travel business class or first class. I mean, if I'm traveling in the U.S., it doesn't matter. I'll fly economy. It's not that far of a flight. But if I'm traveling outside of the country, especially if I'm going 10 hours, it's like a 10-hour flight or something like that, I want to travel business class, at least business class, just because I want to be comfortable. I can't sit on a plane and be just not comfortable. So if you look at travel portal, you get on the travel portal, you start looking at the different rates and all that, put in business class and see how many points it's going to cost you to fly business class. I can tell you offhand, for the trip that I'm doing to Colombia, and this is not even that's not even a long leg. It's like, I think 6 hours is one flight, and then maybe 2 hours for the next flight, something like that. So it isn't like a long flight. I mean, how should I say this? It's a long flight, but this is kind of the border where I would say, okay, business class or economy. I could still go economy. I could do the whole JetBlue thing, which I love, go economy, but then just upgrade to the even more seat. And a tip with the even more seats, what I've learned, first, if you have mosaic status, those even more, the even more seat, when the even more, you just have more leg room. And that's a lot of the planes, JetBlue planes, that's all they offer. Some of them have the Mint class now, so they have the actual business class, so the lie flat seat and all that. But if you just do the even more seats, if you're Mosaic, if you have a Mosaic status, like their elite status, it's like 900 points in order to fly the even more seat. So it's like $9. Like, who wouldn't do that? But if you have to pay for it, let's say it's a long flight, it can go up to 40, 50, something like that. It might even go up to $80 for that even more seat. So the trick there, though, and what I usually do is I'll just book my economy seat, and then I'll wait till the day of the flight, or the day that I'm flying out, and I'll check out the even more seats to see what seats are available, and then I will choose a seat that has, because usually most people don't do the even more seat. If they're going to fly economy, they're just going to fly economy. And then JetBlue might upgrade some people to the even more seats later. But I look to see where there's more available seats. Like, say if there's 3 in a row, 3 across, then I'll get that even more seat. And it's on the same day. So there's a good possibility that I might have one person sitting next to me, but I'm probably not going to have 2 people sitting next to me. So I just have a little bit more room, or we have a little bit more room if it's only 2 of us. So I usually do that. I always know that there's a pretty good bet that you're going to be able to still get an even more seat. And if I don't, worst case scenario, I'm just sitting in the economy seat that I had already, and I save $50 or $60. So it's not that bad of a deal. But yeah, you want to look at that whole thing, like the seat arrangements and all that good stuff. So I like to fly business class if at all possible. And so that's the main reason I don't do the portals. I'll try to transfer my points over. I'm going to the Colombia trip that I'm going on. It cost me 70,000 points. That's business class up and back. Or business class, that's a round trip. So 70,000 round trip, 35,000 for one way. So it's a good deal all around. I mean, that's not a lot for me. It's not a lot of points. And even if you have 2, 3, 4 credit cards, you should be able to maintain. You should be able to do trips like that, is what I'm saying. All right, let's see. James, my favorite card is a Chase Sapphire Reserve, but I will not have. Okay, we read that one. And let's see, Life for Business. I use their portal even for events. Yeah. So you book events with using the portal using points, or are you actually paying for those events? I have not done any events with I don't know if you're talking about the Chase events like the VIP events. I haven't done any of those. Let's see, for example, King Kong. Okay. Agent West Coast, what's going on? Amex Platinum, but the Amex Gold and City Thank You Premier are close second. All right, people are liking this Thank You Premier. I need to look at that card again, I guess. I had the card when it first, when I first started. I don't even know if it first came. It was brand new when I first started, but I think they did just start the Thank You program. I want to say it's 2.5 years ago. But I had that card, and I transferred the points out of the account really fast, so I just stopped using the card, and I just had to cancel it. I didn't want to have to pay the $95 annual fee. So let's see, Life for Business and hotels. Okay, thanks, Kai. I'm in a dilemma where I prefer Ultimate Reward points compared to Marriott or MR points, but I spend a lot in supermarkets. How much do you spend in supermarkets? You spend a lot. Well, I mean, you can make it work. I mean, if you're using both cards and you have that Amex Gold, which I think you probably do if you like spending at supermarkets, points are points to me. As long as they have transfer partners that I like. And like the Thank You points, I don't really like the transfer partners, so that's where I am with that. But as long as it can get you to these destinations, that's all I'm concerned about. I just want the points in my account so I can look and say, okay, I want to fly here. How many points does it take me to get to wherever this destination is? Even if you don't like, and I know I badmouth American Airlines. I have points in their account right now. And what I do is I don't have to fly on American Airlines. I can fly on different airlines, like their One World partnership. So I can fly on different planes. I don't have to fly on American. So that's what I'll do. Like I'll look, I have some points on there right now. So I'll try to find a flight and maybe one way use points, and then on the way back use cash or whatever. I'm going to use the points. They're not that many. It's only like 18,000. So it's not going to get me very far. But you can always buy points as well. So if there's a situation, I'm going to Hawaii. I haven't even booked that ticket yet, but I'm going to Hawaii in June. So I might figure out a way I might buy some points, use the American to fly up, and then fly back with another airline. I could save points from my Chase account by doing that. So I might do that. And another thing too, be creative too when it comes to travel, like using your points, I should say. Be creative. You don't have to do round trip tickets all the time. You can do a one-way ticket, even if you're going to another country. You can do a one-way ticket. When I went to Thailand, one-way ticket to Thailand, but you have to have a return flight. So that they do require. So you're going to have to do a one-way ticket up, and then you have to have a ticket showing that you're leaving on whatever date you're leaving, and it can't be over the visa, I think 30 days or something like that for Thailand. It might be even more. It might even be 90 days. But you have to show that you're leaving, coming back before your visa expires. So as long as you do that, you can be creative and you kind of move your points around. So let's say you have the membership reward points and you also have the ultimate reward points, and you like your Chase points, but you like spending money at the grocery stores. You can still get the Amex Gold. You can still maximize those points and then just do one-way tickets. And maybe, I don't know, if you don't like any of the membership reward transfer partners, then do the trip on the way up. Do the trip, use the points for the trip on the way up, and then on the way back, fly on the airline that you really like. I always, if there's a situation where I have points and I'm thinking, okay, well, I want to fly business class or first class, but I don't have enough points. But I have enough points if I fly economy up and then business class back or first class back. I always fly business class, first class back. I very rarely will fly up business class. I'm just saying if I don't have enough points. I will always use those points to get back. And that might sound a little weird, like why would you do that? But when I'm on my way to a trip, first off, I've had plenty of sleep usually. Like that's one thing that I do, and I have a video that I put out about kind of long haul flights, like how I prepare. One of the things I do is I sleep. And if it's a situation where, let's say it's a red-eye flight, I'll take a nap in the daytime just so I'm well rested when I get on that plane, because I don't want to be tired on the plane. I actually want to stay up, even if it's a long flight. If I'm flying the economy mainly, if it's a long flight, I want to be able to stay up, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm so tired that I want to go to sleep, but I can't really go to sleep because the plane's moving too much, or people are bumping you, and people are getting up and waking you up because they need to go to the restroom and all that. So I want to be well rested. I'd rather be up and alert the whole trip as opposed to tired and ready to go. Like some people will tell you, oh, I just want to knock out when I get on the plane. So I won't sleep. And then when I get on the plane, I'll just crash and sleep. And then I'll wake up in another country. I prefer not to do that. But on my trip back, that's when I want to be as comfortable as possible, because when I'm on my way up, I'm excited about going to a new place. On my way back, I'm dreading coming back, thinking I have to go to work, I have to do this, I have to do that. And so I would rather have something to look forward to on my last day, wherever I travel to, as opposed to just dreading getting on a plane and just, you know how it is. When I came back from Thailand, I came back, Part of it was business class, only 6 hours, and then my 10-hour flight or 11-hour flight was economy, and that was tough. And I'll tell you, I had a day, like I didn't have to go back. I had a day off after I got back. I slept that whole day because I was up for 30 hours. I wasn't on a plane for 30 hours, but I was awake for 30 hours because going from Thailand to Beijing, doing a 8-hour layover, crazy, and then coming back to the U.S., it took all that time. And by the time I got home, I was out. Like I couldn't. Yeah, so I don't like being like that. So I would rather be in business class or have a lie flat seat, first class, lie flat seat, and be able to go to sleep if I need to or if I want to. Okay, so the answer to your question, yes. Even if you have two different ecosystems, card-wise, you can still make it work. And if you like shopping at supermarkets, or if you shop a lot at supermarkets, get those membership reward points and fly one way up. Use your Chase points to fly back. You can do that. Okay, go Amex. My favorite market is Costco. Yeah, Costco's not bad. Chase Sapphire Reserve is the most overrated credit card. All right, David. Let's see. The best card for travel is the Platinum card. Okay. So, like I said, each card, we all have different opinions when it comes to cards. I won't say that Chase is overrated. They do offer a lot of great features. I think obviously the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Platinum are kind of on the same level when it comes to cards. I do like the fact that Platinum has the Centurion lounges, and you get the 5 times points when you book airfare or book directly with the airline, as well as I think Amex Travel, you get 5 times points on that. But I eat a lot, so you don't get anything for that. So that's one of the drawbacks of the Platinum card. Whereas a Chase Sapphire Reserve, I can get that 3 times back or 3 points back for every $1. So that's what I really like about that. All right, don't have either yet. That's Kai. Okay, let's see. Anybody who uses a portal is lazy. Oh, come on now, David. You don't have to be that mean. Like I said, David's just talking about people that use a portal are just, in his words, lazy. And I won't even say the other thing he said, but if you don't have the flexibility, sometimes you're put in a situation where you have to use a portal. That's one of the drawbacks. Just like I told you when I was flying back from Thailand, I had an 8-hour layover. It was like 8.5 hours. And I don't know if you've ever done an 8.5-hour layover. And I'm in Beijing, so I didn't want to leave the airport. I was just kind of like, okay, because you're allowed, I think, 24 hours. Like you can, as long as you have a ticket that says you're going to be leaving before that 24-hour mark, then they will allow you to leave. Like you get kind of I can't remember what they call it, but you get like a visa for 24 hours or something. So I could have left and gone and done some stuff in China, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to get home. And so, yeah, that's a long flight. Long flight. That's a long layover. 8 hours is a long layover, but you have to be flexible. Sure, I could have probably gotten on a portal and worked it, used a lot of points, but worked it around so I wouldn't have to do a long layover like that. But that's all that was available. I was flying on Hainan Air. I was using Alaska Airlines points, and that's all that was available. So that's what I had to take. So you have to be flexible. Now, if you can't be flexible, then that's what the portals are for, generally. And it's not. They pull up all different types of airlines. So you don't have to just fly on United. Like the Ultimate Rewards program, their transfer partners United. However, if you go on the portal, you can fly on American if you want. So yeah, I don't think it has to do with being lazy. I just think when it comes down to it, if you don't have the flexibility, that's when you can really utilize the portal. I highly recommend not doing that, because you'll regret it. You're going to use way too many points. Let's see. Jonathan Jones, the Platinum is great for travel if you fly a lot. Yes, it is. Like if you're a business traveler, Platinum is an excellent card for you. David, Amex Platinum, Chase Sapphire Reserve, City Prestige, Chase Sapphire Reserve, Amex Platinum, City Prestige. Okay, let's see. Just hit the minimum spend on the Amex Platinum. Platinum today, great. Feeling 112 MR points, 112,000 MR points with one swipe. Okay. Let's see. This is really underrated YouTube channel. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. I'll take back all the bad things I said about you in my head. I'm just kidding. All right, Kai. Not many doing live streaming. Yeah, there's not. And I mentioned that in my last stream. Like, you don't see too many people talking about travel credit cards in live streams. I wish that was more the case. And I'm going to start like really looking at talking to different people and doing maybe some collaborations where we have other people that come on. So it's not just me talking. So we'll have like different points of view where we can just sit down and we can talk about different topics. But yeah, you don't see too many people talking about these travel cards in live streams. I think it's a great way to do it because we can all put our input in, and it's impossible for me to have every travel credit card that's out there. But if I'm on here and I have we have 36 people in the chat right now, they might have the card and they can tell you what they like about the card and what they don't like about the card. They can tell you about their different experiences with different hotels, different airlines, different countries that they've gone to where they've had bad experiences, good experiences, different things they've done in these different countries. Because that's like for me, I don't know about you, but when I go to another country, and this has happened to me a lot, and I always want to go back because when I get there, I'm just so overwhelmed with everything that I start forgetting, okay, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then by the time I'm ready to, or like I'm getting ready to leave, I realize, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And I do all that stuff where I write everything down. Oh, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to go here. And then you get there and it's just like, oh my God, look at this, look at that. I didn't see this, I didn't see that. And then I just start going crazy and I want to go here and there. And then my list just, it goes, it goes down I just forget about it. It's like, what do they say about boxers? They, everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face or something like that. So you all have that plan, and then when it's time and you get shocked or what have you, then you just start forgetting about all the other things that you want to do, and then you want to go back. And it's like, okay, which isn't bad. Like, part of the reason that I love going back to Colombia is because there's so many things. Every time I go there, I say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I do some of those things, but I don't do all of them. Just like going at the right time, going during Carnival. I've never done that before, so that's good. I hear it's nice when you go during Christmas time. And then they have a flower festival. And then they have all these other different things that I want to do in Colombia. So that's why I keep going back. All right. So yeah, if you guys are on here, please hit the like button just so it'll push me up in the algorithm. And hopefully more people will jump in or even see the video at a later time. But like I said, since there are not very many live streams that are just talking about travel, I want to really promote as much as we can this channel. And if you're new here, please subscribe as well. I want the more people, the better information. That's the way I look at it. All right, Nick, how you doing? Here with David, his channel deserves a sub. Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. What's the best time to book a flight using Sapphire Preferred? The best time? That's gonna. It just depends. Yeah, you just have to get on there and see what's available. For the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you have the Ultimate Reward points. Depending on who you want to fly with or where you're flying to, United is a partner. So you get on United's website and you pick a destination wherever you want to go. And I think you can go as far as if you sign up, get a United account, because that's what you're going to need to do. then just do the search. And even if you don't have points, click the button where it says points, like apply points, and it will take you through it. It'll show you how many points that you need in order to fly wherever you want to go, and it'll show you the times. You can be more specific and say, I want to fly only at this time period or this time period, but you're going to get less results, and you have to understand the points. They will fluctuate depending on how much available space the airplane has. Now, United doesn't have blackout dates. So what they do is they adjust the points. So you might see on one day, you might see, oh, I can book a flight for 20,000 points, an economy seat, 20,000 points up and then 20,000 points back, so 40,000 points total. But then if you really try to, you hit the filter and you try to, change things around, I only want to fly in the morning, or I only want to fly at night, or what have you. Then you pull it back up, then it might say, okay, well, 50,000 points. You need 50,000 points to fly economy. So the more flexible you are, the better off you're going to be when it comes to that. But just get on United's website and just pick a destination. And United is a Star Alliance partner, so what that means is you get on there, you tell them where you want to go, and then they're going to tell you what partner airlines that they have that will go to that destination. So you're not necessarily going to fly on United. It's just if you don't know how the airline companies work now, they form these alliances. So American Airlines, they have an alliance. I think it's One World. It is One World. Delta has an alliance, the Sky Team, and then United has the Star Alliance. So they have an alliance as well. So what that allows them to do is they work with each other, all these different airline companies. So if you want to go somewhere, put in that information where you want to go, and if you're going to find an airplane that's going to take you, because they're all over. It's all over the world now. So they help each other out in that sense. So you can use your points to book those flights. Okay, let's see, Kai. Just product change from old business gold to new, and book the Amex travel portal. We'll get 25% points back, plus you have options to pay with points and cash. And that's an option that I haven't done. So Kai's just talking about he's going through a portal. He's getting 25% back, which they do that with some cards or some point programs. And then he's also able to use points in cash. So that's something that I haven't done yet as far as portals. But what I have done is I might book a flight up, or even better, like I'll do like a position change, or I don't even know how to. Well, let me just explain to you what I'm doing. So let's say I want to go to Puerto Rico. So I'm flying from Los Angeles to Florida first, and then from Florida to Puerto Rico. So one of those flights, I can just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to use points to fly, or let's just put it this way. Let's say I get a good deal flying from Los Angeles to Florida. I'm able to find a good deal, and I book that using cash. And then when I get to Florida, then I use my points and fly from Florida to Puerto Rico and then back, and then go that route. And then just make sure I set up all my tickets so it's going to bring me right back on the day that I need to fly from Florida back to Los Angeles. So you can do stuff like that, do kind of points plus cash that way. But I've never done the portal using points plus cash. And like I said, the portals are best if you can be flexible and if you're willing only to fly economy. But you will see, and if you've ever flown, you will see, if you've flown business class, you're probably, and it's like the full-on experience where you have the lie flat seat, like the United Polaris business class, or you've flown first class on one of these nice airlines. I mean, like overseas, like a 10-hour flights, that first class, business class, that experience will probably get you to the point where you start thinking, okay, how can I make this happen more often? And so you'll start looking at your points a little differently. Like I look at my points a little differently. I Initially, I was thinking, okay, I have all these points and I can fly economy to all these different destinations. And then I started realizing, well, you know what? For 15,000 more, 30,000 more, I can fly business class. So why not do that? I can earn that 30,000 back. It's not going to take me that long to do it. So it just kind of changes your thought process, because you know, okay, I can be relaxed on a plane. And that's the biggest reason that I didn't travel much in the past, is because I didn't like the actual travel experience. So the traveling part, I love being in another country. I love doing new things, but I didn't like the actual travel. And so that was what kept me from traveling, because I just dreaded going to an airport and being around all, people all around, and everyone's sick, and kids running up and down the aisles and kicking your back seat, the plane. And yeah, so that's where I started saying, okay, this is why I don't like travel. How can I change this to make that experience better? That way it won't be so bad when I go to an airport. And one thing that I did is I got global entry. So I have global entry TSA pre-check. I don't have to wait in long lines. That's another thing I really hate about going to the airport. You're always waiting in lines. Global entry, you're not waiting in long lines. I'll tell you that. Generally, you're getting in there. I mean, and you're through the checkpoint in at the most 10 minutes, but usually it's like 5 minutes. You don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to do any of that stuff. And then once you get into the terminal, Chase Sapphire Reserve, Priority Pass, I have lounge access. So now I can go to a lounge and relax. And even if they don't have food or a big spread, I can still get water. I can still get some other stuff where I don't have to pay for it all at the gift shops and pay $5 for a bottle of water and a sandwich. Like, actually, not even a bottle of water. It's like $10 for a bottle of water and a sandwich. And if you get chips, that's another $3.75 or what have you. So that's where I started to think, okay, I want to change that whole experience. So getting there, not having to wait in line, getting to the lounge so you don't have to hang out with everyone that's in the terminal running around and all that. And then the plane experience. Flying business classes, in my experience, a lot better than flying in economy. So that changes that whole experience. So that's what I really wanted to work on. I think now I kind of got it dialed in, and I'm good with that whole traveling experience. All right, I'll tell you why it's overrated. It's basically impossible to make money off year after year. The $150 fee after travel credit is never going to be covered by the points you've earned. Okay, so David raises a good point. So he's basically saying that it's hard to hit that effective annual fee. So the annual fee is $450. So you get the $300 travel credit, done. But you still have that $150 that's still there, right? So how do you get that down? And basically what he's saying is, even if you use the card, you need to get 15,000 points in order to get the equivalent of that $150. That's the minimum kind of the way you rate it, the minimum way to rate it. $150 is 15,000 points. That's the minimum value that you can get out of the card. That's what I'm trying to say. So I look at it like this. I mean, that's a good point. It's a valid point. And there are other cards that are a lot easier. Like you can look at the hotel cards. A lot of those cards, $95 annual fee. They give you a free night every year. You easily get that $95 value every year just by keeping that card. But with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, it is a little tough. It's a little more tough to do that. But if you travel enough, like 3-4 times a year, I count everything I count everything as benefits. So if I go rent a car and I'm saving money because I don't have to get that insurance that they're trying to sell you every time you go, I count that as money that's being saved. Lounge, when I go to a lounge, I usually don't rate it that high, maybe $8, $9 at the most as far as the value. But every time I go to an airport and I go to a lounge, I'm getting water, I'm getting snacks, not just to have there, but I also take them on the plane with me. So I count that as value. So every time I step foot in an airport, I'm counting that as value. Now, if I'm using getting global entry and I get that global entry credit, I count that as a value because every time I go to the airport, I go through a shorter line. So, and I know you don't get the global entry credit every year. It's like every 4 years, but I take that all in consideration. So I'm not just looking at, okay, $150, that's what I owe for the year, or that's what I'll owe for the year if I don't do anything else. But if I'm traveling, I'm looking at all those different points and I'm telling myself, okay, yes, I am getting $150 value, even though it's not through points. It's through using the card for other things. So that's how I justify that. And it works. It works for me. Let's just put it that way. Million cards you can get where you still get priority pass and make money off the card. Okay. Not a million cards, but there are a few. Yeah, there are a few. And I'm not going to argue with you as far as that's concerned. I do know it is tougher with the Chase Sapphire Reserve to really get that effective annual fee down to zero. But as long as you're traveling, I think you're good. And as long as you're using the card the right way, as far as if I spend, let's just say, I spend $5,000 for food and for travel every year, and I'm getting 3 points for every dollar spent. And I'm just talking just for those two categories. I'm getting 3 points for every dollar spent. That's my $15,000 right there. And that's my $150 if you want to look at it that way. Now, but obviously, yes, you have to go to restaurants often, and you have to travel. And some people can do that in one trip, one travel, or one destination if they pay for it, pay cash, or not cash, but if they don't use points. Let's see. My Vic, what's going on? What card are you using for Priority Pass? We're talking, or he's actually talking to David, the other David. My name's David too. So let's see. Edwin, I use Amex Gold in grocery stores to buy Amazon gift cards. Okay, that's actually smart. Yeah, that's a good way to go. Just be careful, because I have heard, and not this specifically, but credit card companies, sometimes they'll jump on that. They'll watch and see how you're spending, and if they see stuff that comes up like that, they might flag your account because you're not using the system the way they want you to. They obviously don't want you to be able to use it for Amazon purchases, but that's available. Just like the Staples card, I'm sorry, the Chase Inc. Business Plus card that I have, I can go to Staples and purchase Southwest tickets. I can purchase, or Southwest gift cards. I can purchase all the other gift cards they have, Home Depot, Lowe's, and all these, Macy's, all these different places. But I know if I do that over time and I continue to do it, there could be a situation where the credit card company can look into it and be like, hey, yeah, you know what? We're not good with you doing that because we're giving it to you for office supplies, but now you're able to, I mean, people do it all the time, but I'm just saying you don't want to be that one where they either close your account or they start an investigation on your account and hold your points or something. So I'm just my advice, be careful. Lionel, I have a 10-hour layover in Doha. Would be a great time to visit, but my layover is from midnight to 9:30 a.m. Yeah, that's not going to be good. Yeah, that's another thing too. When you're looking at your booking your flights, I try to be as flexible as possible. But one thing I won't do is I won't do a long layover overnight like that. I've done it once, and it was a ridiculous flight. And I was coming back from Aruba, and this is how crazy it was. Like, I'm flying. I couldn't fly directly to Los Angeles, and I live in Los Angeles, so I couldn't fly directly to LAX. The closest flight that I could do was San Diego, which San Diego is about an hour and a half away. So I thought, oh, you know what, I'll just fly to San Diego and I'll just do the layover. It's not that bad. I was even thinking, oh, and the layover is like 8 hours. Or I'll just go rent a hotel or something. I don't know what. At the time when you're booking it, you're just thinking, it's going to work. I'm going to make this work. And because I wanted to use the points, and that was the only way that I could use the points. And I wasn't thinking ahead. If I were thinking ahead, I would have just I could have rented a car, but I didn't look at the time and all that. So I got in, it was overnight, and it was early in the morning when I got in to San Diego. And I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I couldn't go to a lounge because it was too early. The lounges weren't open. So I'm just going to rest in the airport. Well, I didn't know that San Diego's airport, they close the airport. So they will close the section when the planes stop flying in and out. They'll just close the terminals, and you have to go down to like the baggage claim area, and you can hang out there. So I had to go down to baggage claim and sleep on a bench for, like I said, it was 8 hours that my layover was. And I mean, it's so ridiculous now thinking about it. Yeah, I should have never booked that. I should have tried to figure out a different way. I could have gotten a rental car, like come at a regular time, gotten a rental car, drove home, and dropped the car, because you can usually drive from airport to airport, drop the car off at the airport, and I would have been fine. But instead, I'm sleeping at an airport in San Diego when I didn't need to. Okay, let's see. Amex Gold groceries. All right. Hey, what did I miss? What's going on, Hip? David. I have 6 passes. So hard to say. Let's see. Best card for restaurants in Amex ecosystem besides the gold. Why would you want any other card besides the gold for restaurants, for U.S. restaurants? I mean, they're getting you 4 times points. That's like, yeah, I wouldn't even think about another card. I would definitely go with that card for if restaurants are your thing, then that's the card to get. I know the annual fee is a little higher, but the way that I look at these annual fees, you can make the money back. So don't think about the annual fee. And I used to be that way before I started doing these credit cards, these travel cards. I would think about it that way, where I didn't know, like, I don't know why my screen. Hold on one second. So you guys are able to see me, right? Like I'm moving and everything, because I have one screen that's frozen. So I don't know what's going on with that. So let me know. Are you guys able to see me right now? Just let me know real quick in the chat. Just want to make sure it's still working. Okay, here, help you device. Yeah, I'm still seeing the chat, so I'm assuming that everything is okay. But it looks like it's kind of freezing on my other screen here. So just let me know. Anyway, I'll just keep talking, and if there's some issues, then I'll address them. But yeah, it looks like I'm dropping off here. Okay. So let's finish these questions up here. Let's see. Let's pop this out real quick. Just want to make sure you guys are all still here. That's why I'm asking. Okay, so as soon as you guys hear what I'm saying, just let me know if you can see me, because it looks like it's not showing me. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. So where did we leave off? Braveheart. Okay. Let me move back up. I lost my place here. We'll find it here real quick. All right. So can you guys hear me and can you guys see me? Just let me know real quick. Because what I'll probably do is just back out and come back in because it looks like I'm dropping off everything for whatever reason. Okay, so I'm going to back out and come right back in. So if you're still here, just stay here and I'll come right back up. All right, so we should be back. Let me just see what's going on here. Anybody else buffering? Okay, yeah, I see everybody. I am. Let's see. Can you guys see me now? Oop. Ay, ay, ay. What's going on? Facepalm. Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on. Nothing, D. Okay. All right. I am going to try to come back in here. I don't know what happened, but that is very annoying. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully this is working. Ah, it's doing the same thing. All right. You guys see me? Hopefully. I don't know what is going on with this thing. That's the first time that's ever happened. So, let's see. And we are back. Yeah, big. We are back. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm hoping it looks like it's going to stay in the same stream. So, let's see. The time restarted, so maybe, well, hopefully it'll just add to the stream that we had. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I just noticed, I looked down, I noticed that it was just getting that circle refresh or whatever the heck it's doing. So that was weird. I use, for those of you who do live streams and stuff, there's Streamlabs OBS, that's what I use. And from time to time, that thing has bugs in it, and it will just start messing up for whatever reason. That will happen from time to time. If you guys do see that, it was weird though because the chat was still going and I was able to still see what people were saying in the chat, but for whatever reason I couldn't see anything like new. It was like older stuff. I don't think anything was refreshing. Okay, so let's move back. Second that, which first freedom? All right, so I don't know exactly where it left off. Looks like it cut out some of my chat, so I'm just gonna start from where we are right here. So I don't know what, Kai, you second that, laugh out loud. I don't know what that was all about, but my Vic, which one first, Freedom or Freedom Unlimited? And Kai said Freedom. For me, and I don't know what else you guys were talking about as far as maybe getting the trifecta for the Ultimate Rewards program. But for me, if I have a Chase Sapphire Reserve or a Chase Sapphire Preferred, I like the Freedom card as well as what Kai was saying. Because I like the categories. Like I like having the rotating categories. That way I can kind of, I mean, it's limited. I mean, they don't give you, I think it's what, 15 it's $1,500 every quarter. So you can't just spend, but it's still good because I can stock up. So let's say if it's Costco, I can stock up at Costco. And when I say stock up, I mean like get items that will last me for a year. And so I can get the value out of that. Then when it goes to grocery stores, you can use for grocery stores. And when it goes to this, you can use to that. So I like that opportunity. And then I also have the Chase Ink, the Ink Unlimited card, which is a business card, but I buy a lot of things since I have a home office. I buy a lot of things for my office using that card. So it kind of fits in that category. That Unlimited is just like your the Freedom Unlimited card where you get 1.5 on all purchases. Okay, Julio, I agree with you about starting a conversation with the drivers. That's why I always prefer an Uber over a taxi, because you are helping the person earn a living or a side income, and they help very much. Yes, it does help a lot for those people. And a lot of people who drive Uber actually, I shouldn't say a lot because I can't speak, I don't know personally, but there are people, the experiences that I've had with people who drive Uber or Lyft in other countries, generally that is their income. Like that's their monthly income. A lot of them don't have another job. Like that's what they do, because you can make some pretty good money doing it. So yeah, always sit in that front seat. Always chat them up. Hey, what's going on? And just try to see where they are. And I always, and I didn't say this earlier, but I will still see if they have a business card, even if the rapport is not great. I will still get their business card, because you never know. You might be in a situation where you might want to call them up, say, "Hey, can you take us here?" It's like in a pinch, you might want to use them. And a lot of them are they're really trying to do that anyway, and they will push it on you. Like when we were in Thailand, that's what happened. Because they have what they call Grab out there, and Grab is a really good service for those of you who, if you go to Thailand, and it's just like Uber, but it's taxi drivers and like other transportation vehicles in Thailand. So it's the same thing. It's an app. You just tell it where you want to go, and you tell it where you are. But the good thing about Grab is you can use cash. You don't have to use your credit card. And so a lot of those guys, they're all pushing the same thing, where they're trying to get deals. And we went from Phuket to Krabi, which is Krabi River, because we wanted to go to some of the islands. We were going to be staying in Krabi, that area, for a couple of days. And so the guy took us up there, and it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours away. So the guy took us up there, and he was putting his pitch out there. Hey, give him his business card. Let me know when you want to come back, and I'll come back and pick you up and all that. And so we ended up not calling him. The main reason that we didn't call him is because our, how can I say this? We went all the way to Krabi. We went to an island one day. The next day we came back. We went to another island, but the other island was closer to Phuket than Krabi. Or I'm sorry, not closer to Phuket, but it was on the way back to Phuket. And so we would have only had an hour ride instead of an hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes to go from Krabi to Phuket. So we decided to tell the excursion that we were with, hey, the last stop, can you just stop us off at like a bus stop nearby, and we'll just catch a bus and head back to Phuket. And so that's what we did. We caught a bus, head back to Phuket, and the bus ride was like $3 or something, and it took us an hour. Like it drove us an hour back to Phuket. The only problem is it took us downtown and just dropped us off at the main bus station. And so then we had to catch a cab back to our hotel, which we had to pay a little bit more for that. So yeah, buses are another good option if you're traveling. Something else to think about. They're usually always cheaper than a cab. I can't think of any situation where they're more expensive. And they have like buses, like designated buses that will go to certain places. So if you want to jump on a bus, that's always beneficial. I know, like in the U.S., for the most part, especially like I live in Los Angeles, we usually never use the bus. We all have cars and stuff like that. But in other countries, I wouldn't hesitate to jump on a bus just to take me from point A to point B, or catch the metro, the subways, because they're generally pretty good as well. All right, let's see, Nick, how you doing? I'm in a dilemma where I prefer ultimate. Okay, so yeah, we looked at these already. So I don't know how far down we went. I kind of lost myself after the little computer issue there. Okay, Braveheart, I think I said what's up to you already, but what's up again if I didn't. Pion Family, Amex Gold, Capital One, Saver, without an annual fee on grandfathered offer. Freedom Unlimited, not sure if I want to add the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I cruise more, fly to destinations. That's interesting, cruising. How many of you guys do cruises? I used to do them a lot. Like when I first, actually before I started traveling, I mean, I guess I was traveling at that point, but that was all that I was doing. It was taking cruises. And I did like 6 cruises in a matter of like 4 years, something like that. But it's very convenient living in Southern California because we have a couple of different ports that you can go to, jump on a Carnival cruise, or I don't know if Royal Caribbean's, I think Royal Caribbean's out here. Jump on one of those and you're off to Mexico. So they do a lot, but the only issue that I have with cruises, you don't have enough time, you don't spend enough time in the city. So you'll go to these areas, but generally you're just in the tourist area and you don't do much. Like that's what I don't like. And you're only there for a short time. I probably already said that. I'm getting tired, by the way. I worked all day, but I wanted to come on and just talk a little bit. But you don't have enough time to see the nightlife at these different cities, and you have to get back on the boat. So basically, your trip, your fun, most of your fun is going to be on the boat. Realistically, that's the way that I started seeing it. And then because I'm taking the cheaper cruises. I'm not flying out to Florida and then going on the Caribbean cruises. I do go the cheap route. So I'm going the cheap route and we keep going to the same places. There are only a handful of places that they'll go: Ensenada, Cabo San Lucas, Puerto Vallarta. Where's the other? There's a couple more, something. Mazatlan. If they still go to Mazatlan. At the time last time I went, they weren't going to Mazatlan. But you go to only a few different places, and once you've gone once, it's the same thing. Like, because you're in the same area, you just get out, and the same restaurants, everything is pretty much the same. So I kind of got to the point where I stopped doing the cruises, and I enjoy, like one thing, I enjoy like the setup. The way they have the food, you go in and fine dining, and you can kind of get whatever you want. You've already paid for it. That I like. That's pretty cool because it allows you to try different foods and stuff like that, which is good. But it just gets old. And for me, I would have to go somewhere else, go on a cruise to the Caribbean, which I haven't. I've only done once, and I was very young when I did it. So I would do that again. But when you start adding up that money, how much it costs, I would rather just go fly to that destination. I mean, think about this. If I'm going to Florida, so I have to get a ticket to fly to Florida. So I'm going to use points, or it's going to cost me whatever to fly there. And then you get on the boat and you're going to have to pay for the boat. Now all your food's included, and your hotel is the boat, so that's included. So I still, even though I'm paying all that, I still think I can make out better using points, going to another country. Colombia is a perfect example. I could make out because I can stay at Airbnb, which in Colombia it's not very expensive. Airbnbs are around $30, $40 a night, depending on where you're staying. And these are nice areas. They're not anything where it's a high crime area or anything like that. But yeah, I think I could probably make out just as well going to and I can stay in that country, and I'm big on the learning the culture, learning, going to the different restaurants and eating the food and living like that, as opposed to getting on a boat where you're pretty much, you're not immersed in the country. You're just on the boat. So, all right, Kai, let's see. I think I read those two. If you have more than 1 point currency and you want to fly Starlines, check Singapore Air. They accept all the currencies, Amex, Chase, Citi. That's a good point, Lionel. And I'll read it. I like to, just so you know, I like to kind of look through the statements or questions first, and then kind of read them out loud, only because sometimes they're not entirely appropriate. So, and generally, like this group has been really good, and like I've had some pretty good experiences when it comes to people participating. But you always get a few that just don't want to. They're just not nice people. Okay, so Lionel's saying if you have more than 1 point currency and you want to fly Star Alliance, check Singapore Air. They accept all the currencies, Amex, Chase, Citi, and Capital One. So that's a good thing to know. So let's say, like someone asked earlier about, they have Amex, or they like the membership reward program, but they also like the Chase Ultimate Reward program. So they have points on both currencies. So you can look at like a Singapore Air and try to see if you can fly to your destination by using them, because you can use both point systems to send to Singapore Air. Now you're saying, okay, Singapore Air, I don't want to fly to Singapore, or I don't want to fly where they fly. Well, you can still book a flight using Singapore Air's points. Like, you can have Singapore Air points, they're part of the Star Alliance. I can still book another flight and fly on a different airline. So I hope that makes sense. The Star Alliance, they all work together. So those points, once you get them in one of these different, like you get them into United, I put down where I want to fly. It's going to tell me, okay, yeah, you can fly on Singapore, you can fly on this, you can fly on that. So you don't necessarily have to fly on Singapore. You can use your points in that system to fly on another airline. Okay, Braveheart. Let's see. What are we saying, Braveheart? I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred at the Freedom. I now have 109,000 points and looking to fly business class to Japan for 3. I'm a little new to the points game. How do I make this happen? Okay, so 100,000, that's not going to be enough. In most situations, I can't think of being able to fly business class for all 3 of you guys. You're looking at, and it just depends. What I would do if I were you is jump onto United's website, and United will tell you pretty much, put in your date that you want to leave, but they're going to tell you about how many points it's going to cost. And I would think business class is probably, we're going to pull it up real quick just to look up. That's Google Flights. That's not going to help me. It's funny, you type in United and United Airlines, and the first thing that pops up is it's Google Flights, because it's on Google, right? So I always do that. I click on Google Flights on accident. All right, let's look at this real quick. We are going to help you out, or at least look at something. Where are you coming from? Let's see. Braveheart, where are you coming from? And then we can put that in. But I'll just do it for Japan while we're waiting for a response. Let's see. So LAX, because I'm curious. I have no idea what it would take. I just know I flew. Let's see. We'll just do 1 adult, and I want to spread this out just a little bit. I don't want it to be the same. Let's just see some flexibility here. Return. Let's return in 7 days. We want to fly business class. And we want to book with miles. So, and like I said, you don't have to even sign in. Now, you need an account ultimately in order to transfer points and everything, but you don't have to sign in order to see like what the points that you would need. You just need to just go to the site and pull it up. Okay, so the business saver, that's what you want to look at. And you see like some of these, this is ridiculous here. This premium economy is 135,000. But you see it's a lot of points. So you have 109,000 points. You don't have enough for 3 people. You don't even have enough for one when it comes to a business class seat. And some of these are ridiculous. You're not always going to be able to fly business class. You can look at other ways of getting points that might give you better value. I know Alaska Airlines has, it's like 50,000 points one way. So 50,000 up, 50,000 back. So you need 100,000 points for Alaska Airlines in order to fly. I could have flown to Thailand with that. I flew back from Thailand with that, and it was 50,000 points, and it was business class, slash, it was a mixed cabin, so business class / economy. But for 50,000, if I would have booked it at the right time, maybe a little earlier when they had more available seats, I would have been able to fly business class the whole way up for 50,000 points. So, yeah, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to need to look elsewhere, because I don't see anything. The lowest thing here is this 110,000, and this is a one-way ticket. And that 110 should be for business class. Let's see what it says here. It's probably all the way down. Oh. Yeah, it's probably all the way down to the bottom. I don't even see it on here. Yeah, I don't even see it. But what you're looking for is you're looking for this business saver award. That's where you're going to get the most value as far as points go. But yeah, you need a little bit more Braveheart. So get another card, or 2 or 3 or 4. You're probably going to need a lot of cards, actually. But it doesn't always work. And with that 100,000 points, maybe you can save money in another way by maybe you can save money another way by using it for a hotel stay. Hyatt hotels, you can use those points and stay there, depending on where you're staying. So you can save money on other ways, or in other ways, I should say. Okay. Now I'm skipping ahead because I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't know exactly where I left off. Sean, let's see. If only John Wayne Airport had international flights. I'm from Orange County as well. Irvine. Getting to LAX can be a hassle, especially if you have a morning flight. Yeah, I agree. And then John Wayne, they don't have lounge access. Although their terminal is pretty nice. It's pretty laid back. It's not too hectic. But no, I agree with you. Depending on Ontario, but they're both far. So LAX, Ontario, those are your 2 real options. So yeah, it's just kind of the way it is. What I do a lot now is, and I live in Orange County too, Sean, but what I do is I will just take an Uber, take an Uber to wherever I'm going. When I first started traveling, I would do the long-term parking. I'd drive my car out there and do the long-term parking. But it doesn't make sense because it's like $18 or $16 or something like that a day. And so if you're staying any period of time, like I'm staying 9 days, it'll be actually a total of 10 days if I drove, then it's just not worth it. I'm going to pay all that money when I can catch an Uber, and an Uber is going to cost me maybe at the most $40, maybe 45, depending on when you go. But in my situation, I'm doing a red eye, so I can leave after rush hour, so the price of Uber should go down. So yeah, that's what I do. That's the easiest solution that I have. And what I've done before as well is I'll take an Uber up and I'll stay, like, especially if I need to get an extra night stay, like at a Hyatt, I'll go stay at the Hyatt Regency at LAX, and it's generally pretty reasonable. And I'll use points, or I'll just pay for it, and I'll start my vacation that day. And it's right. I mean, there are a few hotels that are right on the airport. Like, they're pretty much, you're looking down into the tarmac. And then they have a shuttle. So I just catch that shuttle and it takes me right to the airport, and I don't have to really worry about traffic and stuff like that, because it can be a nightmare, especially if you're flying out on a Friday and it's right after or right during rush hour. It can be a nightmare because you have everybody flying out, right? Everybody's leaving, wanting to go somewhere. So it does get really bad. Another tip too, and I don't know if you guys have heard this before, go to arrivals. So at LAX, you have departures up here, and then you have arrivals right below. Go to arrivals when you come in. Don't go to. I'm talking about when you're leaving, like when you're actually departing. Don't go to departing. Go down to arrivals. If you have someone dropping you off, or you take an Uber, tell the Uber driver, hey, can you go down to arrivals? Because all you need to do is go up. There's an escalator. As soon as you get down to arrivals, get out. Walk over. When you walk, you're walking. There's a baggage claim right down there, so you're walking right there. There's an escalator, like they have a few escalators that are right there. Jump on that escalator and take you right up. You're in departing. You're right at the check-in, and it saves you so much time because you have like on a Friday night, there's so many people that are going to be going places, and so it's going to affect me next Friday when I go out when I leave. So that's when I'm telling the Uber driver, hey, take me down to arrivals. And a lot of Uber drivers are really hip to it now, so they know, okay, you know what, I'm going to take you to arrivals, okay, and you can go up the escalator. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. I've been in a situation before where I I thought I was going to miss my flight because it was just bumper to bumper, and it wasn't going anywhere. And I got to the point where I was thinking in my head, I could get out right now and walk and probably get there before the car's going to get me there. So that does happen, and so just be aware of that. Now, I don't know how all the different airports are set up. Most of them are pretty similar. They have a pretty similar setup where you'll have departing on top, and then you'll have the arrivals down below. So check your airport out. You can do a little research and find. And I always do, like if I'm not familiar with the airport, I do research. Like, I will do that. I'll look to see the different lounges that are at the airport, the different places to eat at the airport, the terminal that I need to go to, what it looks like, all that stuff. I like to. The way I am is I need to know. I need to know what's going on. I don't want to be that person that's like, okay, well, where do I go now? So I always check the airports out and just kind of check out what's around there and get some landmarks, so I kind of know, okay, oh, you know what? I'm by this restaurant, so I must be close to my terminal. So I do that a lot. And I'll always, like, I have a routine, and it might just sound, it probably doesn't sound weird. Most people probably do this, but I always go to the lounge, but before I go to the lounge, I always go to my terminal. So I'll always go down to my terminal, and I want to see on that board next to my, on the board next to my terminal, or somewhere, that my flight is leaving at that time, at that same gate. Now, if it's not on there, then I'll usually just walk up and I'll just kindly ask them, is this the terminal for? Because sometimes it changes and they don't update that board and you don't know. And so then you've gone to that terminal. Now you go to the lounge and you hang out in the lounge. You say, oh yeah, I got 30 minutes. So you get up and you start going 30 minutes before your flight leaves. And then you start going to that terminal. You get there and then you realize, oh, they moved it. It's somewhere else. So I always do that. Go to my terminal so I know exactly where it is. I'll ask them, is this where it's flying out? Oh yeah, it's flying out here. And then I'll go, and usually most lounges will have, they'll have the little screens in there so you can kind of keep an eye on it just in case it changes. And some of the lounges are even good. Like when I was in Colombia, that lounge, they will come and get you. Like some of the lounges, or when I say they, I mean the receptionists, people that are working in the front, they'll come and get you and say, hey, your flight's getting ready to leave. Or they'll come out and they'll just call off a list, now boarding, and they'll say whatever the flights are. So that's good as well. But don't rely on them. I mean, you don't want to miss your flight, so you need to. And I don't like being in a position where I've waited until they're now telling me they're boarding. I'd rather be there before, especially if I'm flying on business class or something, or first class, because usually you can board before anyway. Like you're one of the first people to board, so I want to be there. So when they call it out, I can just go ahead and jump on the plane. Okay. No, it's not legal. David, what's not legal? What are we talking about here? Let's see if only John Wayne. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, David. So if you elaborate, we can talk about that. Let's see, Kai. Only gift cards I'm getting is Amazon. Okay, Braveheart. Kai, you thinks, but let's see, David. Maybe legal, but is inconsistent with the terms of the bank. Okay, so I guess you guys are talking about getting the gift cards at different stores. Yeah, I just say I've heard stories, and that's the only thing it hasn't happened to me. I have bought business cards in the past, or gift cards in the past, but not like on that level. Like I would buy cards as gifts and things like that, the way they're supposed to be used, but. I've never. You have to think like if every month you're buying these gift cards, unless you have like a business, unless it's like if I'm using that Chase Ink Business Plus card and I'm buying gift cards every month. Well, I could probably justify that. You know what? I'm buying them as gifts for my clients. But if you have a personal card and you're buying gift cards every month and you're buying a lot of them. That might raise a red flag, and they might look into that, and then they might. I mean, they can take your points away. You just don't want that to happen, and you'll have people. The reason I say that is because you'll have people that churn cards, and that's what they do. Part of what they do, I should say, they do other things as well. But one part of it is they buy a bunch of business cards. Or why do I keep saying business cards? They buy a bunch of gift cards. They buy these gift cards, and then they use them at restaurants, and so they use them for their everyday spend. But what they're trying to do is get that manufactured spin going, and they'll buy them, and they can even sell them. You can buy gift cards, sell the gift cards, that kind of stuff, just to manufacture your spend for your churn, all that. Okay, let's see. Here to help you beat the banks. Okay, David. Anybody else buffering? You guys, or maybe this was the old. You guys see me now? Okay, yeah. So that was all the old stuff. Now we're back into the new stuff. Okay. Okay, I'll copy my previous message. Chase is watching us. Chase is watching us. Hey, you know what? That's the thing. You guys are on here. Yeah, it's possible. I would hope that some credit card companies or people from credit card companies watch stuff like this, watch YouTube videos, watch these live streams to kind of get an idea. This is the perfect forum for, it's like, what do they call those, not an experiment, but like, God, I can't think of the name. But it's a perfect way for them to see, okay, what do they think about this? Or what do they think about this card? Or what do they think about this benefit? What do they think about that benefit? Like a consumer report or something like that. Let's see. All right, yes, I am back. Anybody use Award Wallet? No, I don't use Award Wallet. That's easy saying that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know anything about the award wallet. Let's see. I know you're kind of into the flights, but what do you think about the Schwab Platinum card? I don't know anything about the Schwab Platinum card either. And a lot of these cards I will do research on and get back to you guys. Now, if you guys do have that card, then please chime in. But I don't have the card and I don't know much about it. And I'm straightforward. Look, if I don't know about something, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to try to give you, try to act like I know about all these different cards and give you information that's not accurate or correct. Let's see. What I'm aiming for. That's what's kind of saying. Do you use ink? Do you use ink preferred for internet service? Maybe Chase blocked the live stream. Means that they have maybe Chase blocked our live stream. So I think you're asking me, do I use the Chase Ink Preferred for internet service? So I have the, what did I say? Okay, so the Chase Ink Preferred is the newer version. I have the older card, and it's the Chase Ink Business Plus. So they've changed that card to the preferred card. I use the internet, use it for internet with the Chase Ink Business Plus, which gives me five points for every dollar spent. So the value is a little bit better. I believe the preferred is like maybe 3 points for every dollar spent. So yes, I do use it for that. Internet, cable, and phone. Let's see, and I get 5 times points on all those. Okay, in case you missed it, if you use credit card to buy a gift card, it's what banks call manufactured spend, and they will lock your points. Yeah, so that's Maine saying that. And like I said, and he's just talking about if you're getting these gift cards for like, if you're getting them the wrong, like we're talking about, if you're getting the Amazon cards and you're using them to make purchases on Amazon, so you can get 5 points for every dollar spent, or you can get whatever points for every dollar spent in a category where you would normally, if you just use the card, you're not going to get it. Yes, they can consider that manufactured spend, and they could lock your account. I'm not saying it happens. I'm saying I've heard that it happens. I've never personally had any experience like that, but you don't want to be that person that has 100,000, 200,000 points in your account, and then all of a sudden those points are locked, and now they're investigating to find out if you were doing the manufactured spend. Then you lose all those points. That would hurt. So, yeah, and they have the right to take those points away. So you don't really have any recourse when it comes to that. So I would just try to do the right thing when it comes down to it. In the long run, you can still make out. And if you really get the right cards, then you're fine, because you can get cards that will hit each category. Maybe not every, well, you can get some cards that will give you 2 points for every dollar spent on all purchases or what have you. So you can hit every category, or most categories. And so that's my advice. I'm very conservative when it comes to using these cards. I don't like to get into the manufactured spending and the churning and all that. I really don't. Say, man, you have no idea what you're okay. So now we're gonna get in a disagreement about it. I'm just telling you, think about from the bank's perspective. Think about how they're looking at the whole thing. Would they want you to do that? Would they want you to be able to use Amazon, like Amazon, or get Amazon cards and use Amazon cards? They probably wouldn't want you to do that, because if they did, then they would just give you those points, that point structure with Amazon, right? You can look at it two ways. One way is you're using the card, so they're happy that you're using the card, because now they have a chance at your money. It's kind of like when you go to Vegas, they have a chance at your money if you start gambling. They have an opportunity to win. You can win, they can win. So they might like that aspect, but if they're really looking into it, they can say, yeah, you know what, we don't like that you're doing this, and we're going to stop it. So I'm just saying, you don't want to be the one that they make an example of. Okay, Big A says he loves cruises. Yeah, like I said, I need to go on different cruises, not Mexico. This is such a great YouTube channel. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Hit the like button, guys. If you guys are in here, hit the like button, please. And if you're new, please subscribe. We do live streams every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll get on here. We'll talk about a bunch of things. And then I'll also do bonus live streams. I've been doing them on Saturday. Today is what, Wednesday. I just jumped on. So we'll just jump on and talk about different things. I just think, like I've said time and time again, we don't have this out right now as far as travel, credit cards, and just travel, period. Like, how many live streams can you go to and it's just talking about travel cards and travel and different places where you visited and all that. I'm big on travel. Like, I think we all need to go somewhere out of the country and just see. It gives you so much. It gives you it makes you more well-rounded. Wow, I couldn't say that word. Makes you more well-rounded because you get to see how people live in different countries. You get to see the culture and how things are. And I was just talking to some friends earlier about when I go to, and I know I talk about Colombia too much, but I love the place. So when I go to Colombia, not just Colombia, actually Colombia, Costa Rica, and Puerto Rico as well. So you go to these countries, and if you hit, when you get to, not every intersection, but when you get to some intersections, you'll see these people coming out on the sidewalk, and they're juggling, and I've even seen them go so far as they have like a rope line. Like, they'll throw a rope line from one side of the pole, the light pole, to the other side of the light pole, and a guy will get up there and start doing his stuff, and he'll be juggling and all that stuff. So you'll see that. You see it all the time, and it's amazing. Like, you never see that in the U.S. And of course, they want you to tip them and stuff like that. But they're giving you like entertainment while you're sitting at the light. So I think it's it's an amazing thing, and I've never seen it in the U.S. But usually when I go to Colombia, I always see it. And when we went to Costa Rica, I saw it. And even when I was I think Puerto Rico was the first place that I saw it. And I was driving, and I'm like, what is this person doing? Because it's kind of weird. They walk right out in the walk right out they're in the crosswalk, but they walk right out on the crosswalk, and you're kind of thinking, what are they doing? And then they start doing these tricks and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm big on travel. Get out there, go do stuff. You're going to learn so much about people. Okay, let's see. You have to leave California before it's too... huge taxes, trouble, roads, government. All right, so Dave's just talking about leaving California. I actually like California. It's not bad. Let's see, David, what's your favorite travel credit card website? My favorite travel credit card website is the Points Guy. That's where I started when I knew nothing about credit cards. I got on there. They have so much stuff on there, so much. And they're old, like they have this is not new, it's a newer website, but I used to go to the older website. I like the older website because it was easier to kind of navigate and search for things. This one is a little different. Maybe I'm just not used to it enough. Like, I don't get on there very often anymore. But before, I was getting on all the time. I had them on my Twitter, so they put out stuff on Twitter. I was able to get the deal of a lifetime being on the Points Guy website. I got 5 nights at the Hyatt Regency Etoile in Paris, and it was a mistake. They made a mistake with the fare, with the hotel fare, and it was $21 instead of $621 or something like that. And so the Points Guy put it out like a tweet, and it was like 3 a.m. I happened to look at my phone. I'm like, what? So I get on there and I look. I didn't know anything about Paris. Like, I wasn't even thinking about going to Paris. So I said, yeah, it does say $21. And so I booked 5 nights. I should have booked more, I know, but I booked 5 nights just to see if it would work. And it worked, and it gave me my confirmation. And I'm like, oh, wow, what the heck? And so then the next day, I look, because I always look, like when you're looking at different blogs, the Points Guy, they have like, it's like a blog style. So they'll do an article, and then at the bottom they'll have the comments and all that. So you see all these people writing comments, and people were writing, oh yeah, I got it, oh I got it. And one person got really, how can I say this? They were upset with one person because one person decided to call the Hyatt Regency to see if that fare was like correct. And of course, what are they going to say? Oh no, this is not correct, because we know it's not correct. $21 to stay in a hotel in Paris. So anyway, they closed it down, and so no one else was able to get it after that. And then a week and a half later, they sent out an email from the Hyatt Regency. And so I'm looking at the email. I hadn't booked my airfare or anything. I just booked that hotel. And so I'm looking at my email. I'm saying, oh, they're not going to give me this. This is not going to happen. So I'm reading, and they're saying at the very top how they made a mistake and they had a computer issue and all this. And they said, but we're going to honor it, so enjoy your trip. And I was like, what, dude? And so I booked my airfare, and I was gone. So for $114, I was able to stay 5 nights at the Hyatt Regency Etoile, and that's like the there's a nicer Hyatt. I can't remember the name of that. That might be a Hyatt Regency as well, but it's an old, like real old style. But it's right in the middle of the city, like in the heart of the city. So that would have been a better option, but it wasn't $21. And the Hyatt Regency that I stayed in was perfect because underneath it was the subway system, and it was like the government. I don't think it was next. It wasn't next to government buildings. I didn't see any government buildings around there, but it was called some congressional something or other. So it had the like I said, the subway ended there. So you can I was able just to get down once I learned how to use a subway, jump down and take the subway into the city. And it was a good experience. Okay. So that's my favorite website, the Points Guy. And then I also use, what's the other one? Boarding Area. So I also go on this website too. And I'll click this out so you guys can see this one. Yeah, so the Boarding Area, I use this one. And this is a combination of a bunch of different blogs. So these are all smaller blogs, and they're all in Boarding Area. And they have some really good stuff too. And the good thing about this is it's a variety of all these different blogs, so you're getting a lot of different viewpoints, and they might talk about the same thing, but they talk about it in a different way and stuff like that. So they're good. They even have some in different languages and everything. So I don't look at them as often as I used to because I know a little bit more, and I'm not really I don't really have a need to look at them as much as I used to. And then I used to, let's see, the flight deal. I think that's what it's called. Now I very rarely look at this one, but I had them like on Twitter, and so I would get information about these different deals. Now these are not points. These are just good deals that are out, and they'll post them. The best thing to do is get on Twitter. Get them on Twitter, and where they give you the notifications, and as soon as you see it, then jump on it, because they have some pretty good stuff on there. You'll find some really good deals. Now, like I said, for me, I like using points when I fly, so I don't want to get, like in certain situations, like I'm looking at this, JetBlue. JetBlue's good. I'm fine with flying JetBlue. If I can get a good deal flying JetBlue, I'm set, because I know that I can always upgrade, pay a little extra, and do the even more seat. So I'm good with that. But some of them, yeah, you might want to. I mean, Spirit Airlines comes on here every once in a while and things like that. So you might want to look at that or take that in consideration, I should say. All right, let's get through these, and then we'll end for today. I appreciate all you guys participating, and like I said, hit the like button. Just so more people can see this even after the broadcast, because YouTube will look at it as, okay, people like what he's putting out, so will promote it to more people. So after the live stream, they'll promote it to more. And then on next Sunday, or this coming up Sunday, when I do the live stream, more people will get alerted and stuff like that. So that's how it works. And the more people, the more information we can get out of this. Let's see, some plane spotting at LAX. Let's see, what's legal? What wasn't legal? Buying a couple of gift cards at a store like, let me just say. Let's see, David. So no, David. And David's just saying what's illegal about buying a couple of gift cards. That's not illegal. No, I'm not saying that it is. Well, actually, it's not illegal, period. It's just they might not like it. The banks might not like you doing it that way, and they can always put a lock on your account for whatever reason they want to. So buying a couple of gift cards, I don't see a problem in that. But buying 10 gift cards every month at the same time, they might look at that and say, he's buying 10 gift cards for Amazon every month. Like, who's he giving all these cards to? And like I said, if you have a business, you might be able to justify that. And I'm sure if they were to lock your account, they're probably going to contact you in some way and say, this is what we see, what's going on. So if you have a business credit card and you're buying those gift cards, you could probably justify it by saying, I have a business. I give these business cards to my, or these credit cards to, or gift cards to my clients, and they probably won't have an issue with that. Like I said, I have the Chase Inc. Business Plus card. I can go to Staples. I can get 5 points back for everything, for every dollar that I spend. I can go in there and probably buy a lot of gift cards every month and be able to justify it as such. I'm giving them as gifts. So just all I said, and I think all Mina's saying, just be careful, because there are people out there, just understand, there are people out there that try to do the manufacturer spin so they can hit these, they churn their cards so they can hit these sign-up bonuses and then not use the card anymore. And that's been a problem. Banks are looking into that problem, and that's why, you know, they frown upon that kind of stuff. So it's not illegal, but it could get your points frozen. Okay, let's see. What I said wasn't illegal was buying a different car. He deleted. He deleted a bunch of his live chat. So the live chat actually froze or what have you. So I don't know what happened. So I don't know if it deleted. I'm thinking it's going to keep the whole chain in the end, because it looks like everything is the same as far as, let me switch back here. I always forget sometimes. It looks like everything is fine as far as the time. The time is the same. So it showed that I've been on for 2 hours and 18 minutes, and that's probably about right. So I don't think there will be an issue with the stream. So if you want to look at the stream later, and look at all the stuff that Dave is talking about, then you should be able to do that. Let's see. Check on Avianca and ANA when flying to Asia. Does Avianca fly to Asia? Because I know they normally fly South America. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Don't use MR or UR for hotel stays. So main saying don't use MR or UR. I would use, and this is me personally, I use Ultimate Rewards for hotel stays at Hyatt, because that's a low point. Like, you don't need that many points to stay there. And it's not always, they have a points plus cash system. I think Hilton has a points plus cash as well. I don't know about Marriott. But it allows me to use very minimal points and then pay cash for half. And when I travel with friends, I do it a lot of times, because then I can use points and then they can pay the cash. So it works out. Let's see. UR points to Hyatt gives good value. Okay, easy saying that. Yeah, I agree with you. MR to Hilton when it's 1 MR to 3 Hilton ratio. Okay. Main, some plane spotting LAX. Okay. Okay, you guys are getting heated over here about these cards. Remember, get the cards that work for you. Okay, so not all cards are going to work for you for a variety of different reasons. You can have you can have United hubs near you and say, oh, you know what, I want to get Chase Ultimate Rewards program because I can transfer my points over to United because there's a hub nearby and I can get better deals on my flights. You can have Hyatts with low, let's say you travel to a lot of different areas where you can stay at Category 1 hotels. Well, you might, or Category 1 Hyatt hotels. Well, you might want to jump on that because it's only 5,000 points to stay at Category 1. So you get the Ultimate Reward points and you're able to transfer them over at 5,000 points to stay free night. So different cards are going to give you different cards are going to benefit people in different ways. So use the cards that work for you. We don't have to look at, oh, this card is the best card of all time and all that. When I said the Chase Sapphire Reserve at the beginning of this video, that's because that's the card that works for me. That's a card that I like. But it's not going to work for everybody. Okay, don't shut down the stream. That's all I care. What? Okay, Kai, let's see. These banks just to conserve their credit limits. U.S. Bank. Okay, Easy saying Park Hyatt is the most luxurious brand that you're referring to. Okay, yes, Park Hyatts are nice. I've never stayed in a Park Hyatt, but I've seen pictures and they look really nice. And they're not all over, that's for sure. They're very exclusive. Kai, can you change the name on Priority Pass Select? Can you change the name? If you're asking if you have a card already, can you change the name? I don't think you can. You would have to contact them. If you have like your own, like if you paid for a Priority Pass for the year, like you went through Priority Pass and paid and you're not using a card, you might be able to, but you'd have to contact them. I don't know the answer to that question. Nika, what's going on? Hey, Nika, you have a channel. I didn't know you had a channel. You didn't tell me. If you guys have channels, like you're doing YouTube stuff and you have a channel, let me know you have a channel. I'd like to know, and I don't mind having you guys, you know, put your link to your channel. I know you don't talk on your channel. I don't know why. You need to start talking. You have like, I think you had what, 200 subscribers, and I didn't see any talking. I just see traveling. But yeah, if you guys have a YouTube channel, I'm not opposed to having you put your links there and helping you out as far as getting more views and stuff. There are a few other people that I look on here because I like to, you know, check up on people and see, hey, okay, this person's participating in the chat. What do they do? Like, what do they do on their channel? So I do look at that. All right, let's see. Business cards are 524. Okay, so Nika's asking, are business cards 524? All right. This is where I get all, like, I start trying to get too technical and it doesn't make sense sometimes. So, if you have, let's say you have 5 cards that you've already opened within the last 24 months. Okay, so you have 5 cards you've already opened in the last 24 months. So, and you want to get a Chase card, and you want to get a Chase business card. So let's say the Chase Inc. business, what is it? Chase Inc. Unlimited. You want to get that card, right? So you sign up, you push it through, it's going to reject you. And it's going to, well, it doesn't say that you're over the limit, but it's going to reject you because of the 524 rule. Okay. So let's do another example. Let's say you have 3 cards. So you've opened 3 cards within the last 24 months. And then you say, oh, you know what? I want to get a business card. So I want to get the Chase Inc. Unlimited card. So you have 3 cards that are open right now, right? 3 regular personal cards. And then you decide to open up that Chase Inc. card. So you'll get it, and you'll get accepted hopefully without the 524 is not going to hold you back from that. So you'll get that card, right? So you have 3, you get that additional card. Now that card that you got, the business card, it doesn't count toward the 524. So you still only have 3 cards because you have 3 personal accounts and you have 1 business account. So you can get a business account as long as you're under 524. And that business card that you have, you can get another personal card. And let's say you got another personal card. Well, so now you have 5 total cards. Only 4 of them are 524. And that business card is still not going to be 524. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. If you're over 524 already, or if you already have 524 and you try to get a business card and it's a Chase card, yes, they're going to decline you. But if you are under 524 and you get the card, then it's not going to count against you. You'll still have space for, if you got 3 and then you get this 4th, you'll still have space for 2 more. So I hope that makes sense. It's a little confusing, but the way you have to look at it is business, personal. Business cards they're not, even if you're a sole proprietor, they're not tied to your accounts the same way as personal cards. Even when you, like, if you don't have any business cards, let's say you have Chase cards, like I have all Chase cards, or majority Chase cards. So when I open up my account to look to see who I need to pay and all, what cards I need to pay and all that, it separates my business cards from my personal cards. So they're different sections. And the only way that I can look, I have to click all, so it'll allow me to look at all of my cards at once. But when I initially open up my account, it shows my business cards up here, and then I can click and open up my personal cards. So they separate them. And when it comes to like showing your credit to debt ratio and all that, the business cards, they shouldn't show up. They shouldn't show up on your regular credit. So let's say I have $1,000 on each personal card, and then I have $1,000 on one of my business cards. Well, that business card shouldn't show up like on my little credit history thing. It should be separate. And then if you even go a step further and you have like a corporation or LLC or something like that, and you have a tax ID, well, it's completely separate from your personal credit. So if it does go in default and go bad, then it's not tied to your personal account. That's how people who own business and stuff, their business might go under, but their personal credit is still okay. Their business credit is not, but their personal credit is still okay. All right, so I hope that answers that question. I recommend, if you do have a business, and it can be a home-based business just like mine, you have a YouTube channel, or you sell on eBay, or you sell on Amazon. If you work it like a business, then you can apply for these credit cards, and in most cases you'll probably get a credit card. So just something to think about. And you don't have to have a tax ID. You can use your social security number and just apply for it, see where it goes. If it goes to pending, then call them up. I always call them up if it goes to pending. I've had it go to pending for my business cards before. Just call them up, ask them if they need any other additional information, and if they do, then they'll let you know, and they'll let you know if they accept you or not. Okay. Kai, keep away from Capital One and Discover. Then you should be golden. Okay. I generally don't use Capital One or Discover. Although the Venture card now, you have the transfer partner, so it's more of more of a travel card now, I would say. I wouldn't say it wasn't a travel card before, but I'm just saying it's now at a point where I think it can compete against some of these other cards, other travel cards. I'm at their business cards. Okay. I was talking about Avianca Life Miles for Star Alliance. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't. I don't have any information about Avianca's their Life Miles. But it's not very hard. I can't remember what your question was before. but it's not very hard to just go on the website and kind of mess around and see what you can do with the points. And you can do that before, obviously you do that before you transfer your points, but it doesn't hurt to kind of mess around with it like you get on United, you just kind of mess around and see where it goes, and you can see the value there. I don't know if there's, I'm sure maybe one day they'll open up a site that just kind of like Google Flights, but it's points. And you just go on there and you type in the information, and it tells you how many points it's going to cost you from each airline carrier. That would be really nice. Just because if you don't know, you get on Google Flights, they'll do the cash, like a cash version of that, where you just get on and you say where you want to fly, or you don't even have to do that. You can open up a map, and that map will show you all these different destinations coming from Los Angeles, going to all these different destinations, and how much cash it's going to cost you to go there. Okay, Amex Gold, Business Gold. Let's see, from my wife to me. Got that from Hilton Ascend. Okay, you guys are talking about stuff that I don't understand yet. Let's see. Got the Hilton. Okay. So I think I missed part of that conversation. Can you add points to a rewards night to stay at a better property? IHG, Hilton, Marriott, or Hyatt? That's a great question. I don't think you can, Ashante. I don't think you can. Yeah, because if it's an award night, generally they have it kind of set. And I know, like with Hyatt, the award nights, it's just God, what am I trying to? Yeah, it's just you just click on it and it'll say free night, and then you click on the free night and then you book the night like that. Now, I do know Hyatt has they have club access. So let's say you're not a globalist, you're not at their top tier. So some hotels, they'll offer club access, and that club access, I do know sometimes they'll have you can use points in cash to book that club access. Now, I don't know if that necessarily upgrades your room. They might upgrade you to that level, but you stay in the same room. And the club access is basically a lounge that you can go in and kind of hang out. They have snacks and stuff like that in there, waters, alcohol, all that different stuff in there. So it's kind of like an airport lounge, really. That's kind of the way you can compare it. Not all hotels have that. Not all Hyatt hotels have that. But yeah, so I don't really think you can use points to bump it up. I would do some research on that just to see. But yeah, I think it's a free night. They're going to give you the free night, and that's it. Even using points, I don't think you can add to it. Let's see, transfer or buy points. Is that a question, Kai? Transfer or buy points? Let's see, either or. Speaking of being technically doesn't holder for more than 24 months, and you got additional 20 months. Okay, what's your question mean? Speaking of being technical, does an additional card that a card holder had this card for more than 24 months, and you got additional within 24 months, will it count? So the things that are going to count, I don't know if I understand your question correctly, but what's going to count with the 524 is when they do a credit pool, like you get accepted for the card, so they do that credit pool. That's what Chase looks at. So that's what they say that Chase looks at. Chase is still, they haven't confirmed that there's a 524, but this is just kind of what people have kind of figured because they're getting declined and they think that's the reason why. So when they do that credit pool, that's what they're looking for. So whatever gets you a credit pool, and I would highly recommend getting like one of these credit watcher, like I have Experian, that's what I use. And it will tell me every time there's a credit pool, and usually your credit drops just a little bit, maybe 5 or 6 points. And then after 3 months, 2 or 3 months, it'll go back up. But yeah, anytime you do that credit pool, that's when it comes into play. So that's what you need to look into. Let's see. Oh, if somebody does so many, you may have to call them and explain. So it does. I'm a 1099 employee. Okay, so easy saying that the Capital One business cards are tied to your personal credit history and report on your personal profiles. Okay, so not all cards do that, or not all companies do that, but easy saying that Capital One does do that. So just be aware of that. I generally shy away from Capital One. I have in the past. Now that they do have those transfer partners, like I said, they're a little more, I'm more open to them, let's say, but I haven't really seen a need to jump on one of those cards. How much does everybody spend in annual fees annually? I'm at 3,690. Yeah, that is a lot. That's like a lot of top tier cards there. I don't spend that much. 450. I spend about 1,000, maybe a little more than 1,000. So because I only have one top tier card, and then all the other ones are $95 annual fee cards. So, or actually, I have. Is it two? For right now, one, no annual fee, and then I'm downgrading a card, so I'll have another no annual fee as well. So yeah, I don't. But you have to look at this. David still could be getting his value, right? He could still be getting all the credits and travel credits and all that stuff to make that $3,600 go away every year. But you have to do some travel with that. So if you're getting that effective annual fee down to zero, that's perfect. But you need to be able to use those cards in order to hit all those benefits. Okay. I'm paying $250. That's Braveheart. So you have the Amex Gold or what? That's the only card? Yeah, so the money, the annual fee really doesn't matter. What matters is the card. If the card can get you that value every year, that's what matters. And obviously there is a ceiling, right? You can only do so much travel. You work at, I work a full-time job. I'm able to travel. I have a little more flexibility when it comes to travel, so I'm able to travel a little bit more than most people. But you're going to hit a ceiling where it's like, okay, I have all these cards, but I can't even travel this much in a year, so I'm not going to be able to get the value every year on all these cards. I'm not even going to be using all these cards. And some cards, like I said, you don't even need to use. Hotel branded cards, if you get the good cards, you don't need to use them. I mean, the only time I would use a hotel branded card is if I'm going to that hotel. The Hyatt card, I really don't need to use that card unless I'm going to that hotel. Or unless I think gym membership is on that hotel. 2 points for every dollar spent. So I can use it for that. But unless I'm going to that hotel, I'm not going to really maximize my points. I think it's gym membership. It's either gym membership or gas. I can't remember. One of the others, 2 points per dollar. All these different cards, I just you start thinking, okay, we'll get you this, we'll get you that. But yeah, most hotel branded cards, I don't need to use them. Like, I get my free night. That gives me the value that I need. So that's how I look at it. All right, if you guys haven't liked the channel, please hit the like button. I'm gonna keep reminding you guys because I'd never do it, and the only reason I remind you is because let's bump it up a little bit, get more people in here. Let's see. An authorized user card. Oh, thanks, guys. I don't know how to tag you. Braveheart. You don't know how to tag who? Or you don't know how to put I don't understand what you're saying. Let's see. How much credit cards do you guys have? I have 15 and age 21. Here we go. 15 and age 21. Okay, that's a lot of cards. Um, yeah. Yeah. And he's asking how many is too many. Uh, I, it's up to you. It really is. I like to be conservative with my cards. Some people like to get a bunch of cards. I personally don't. I like to keep cards that I like to keep cards for long term. So I'm by no means a financial expert or anything like that. And when it comes to what's right for you, it might not be right for me, and vice versa. So uh, I I do it the conservative way. So I won't say you have too many cards and this person doesn't have enough cards. Just use what works for you. Some people only have one card. That's all they use. Amex Platinum, they do a lot of business. They do a lot of travel with their business, and they're set. And you're getting pretty much all the benefits that they can use. Let's see. As long as you pay them all off. Yeah, that's a good point, Braveheart. So Braveheart is just pretty much saying, as long as you can pay them off, then it's good. I travel for work probably around 150 nights a year. That's how I make the money off the annual fees and the cards. My employer pays me back for all expenses and pay the bill in full every month. Yeah, that's good. That's good, David. And you have a good system there. And a lot of companies back in the day, well, I'll just say this: my company won't do that, but there are companies in the past that have, they'll reimburse you. So you use your card, they'll reimburse you. That's a good setup because if you have to travel, you use your card, you use your points, you use your frequent flyer, frequent stay, hotel, whatever, airline. Use all this stuff your own, and then they reimburse you. That way, you're getting the points. And what a lot of people do is they just wait, and then they use those points for like they accrue all these points. And my uncle used to do this, where they accrue all these points with their business travel, and then they use all those points to travel for personal reasons. So let's see. I think we're almost down to the bottom, huh? Let's see. Good points, Braveheart. Or good points, Braveheart. You will be good. You're welcome, brother. World of Hyatt gym membership. You're right. Yeah, it's gym membership. I couldn't remember. It's gym membership or gas. I knew it was something different. Thanks for answering all my questions on all the streams tonight. I'm going off to bed. All right, thanks, David. I appreciate you stopping by. And let's see, Braveheart TPG have more, but he manages them all responsibly. Yeah. Yeah, he does a good job of explaining a lot of things too. So, but I think anyone would tell you just get what you can use. Let's see. Please talk about the website awardhacker.com. I don't use awardhacker.com, main. Yeah, I don't use that. Yeah, he's saying it's like Google Flights. Let me show that. Yeah, I don't use Award Hacker. I'm going to have to get on there just to see how it works, and then maybe we'll do a live stream just talking about it. But I personally don't use it. I like Google Flights. And you're saying it's like Google Flights, so maybe I should check that out. Much love. Thanks, Braveheart. I appreciate you stopping by. I gave you a sub, Braveheart. So, Braveheart, you have a channel? Is that where you're trying to link to? Or you couldn't post your link? They wouldn't let you? Usually they show me, like, if you want to do something, they'll show it to me and they'll allow me to hide it if I don't want to put it out there, but I don't know. You can try one more time and see what happens, or see what it says. Yeah, that's weird. So, Braveheart, what is on your channel? No. What? What are we talking about? Are we talking about something else? I don't know what you're saying, Braveheart. All right, so look, if you do have a channel, Braveheart, and you want some exposure, it's garbage. Hey, we all start somewhere, and if you do want people to know that you're there, then just let me know. But no pressure. If you don't, that's fine. I totally understand that. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't take YouTube serious until I didn't really start taking it serious until last year. But the year before that, I started kind of putting out more videos here and there, and I didn't have very many very many subscribers at the time, and it was just kind of a fun thing for me, and it was more photography related. That's pretty much what I was talking about the majority of the time. But then after I started getting into the whole travel awards and traveling and all that, then I started realizing that maybe I should talk a little bit more about that, because it's something that everybody talks about photography. I mean, there's so many different photography websites out there. There are a lot of travel award websites out there right now, and I won't say a lot, but there are some channels out there. Ask Sebi, Credit Shifu. Actually, he had me in one of his, not had me, he talked about something that I talked about, and put me in one of his videos, which was cool. And then TPG, for whatever reason, the points guy, they had some stuff back in the day. They were kind of going with it. They still put out videos every once in a while, but they're not very active on YouTube anymore. They still have a lot of subscribers though, but they're just not as active as some of the others, like Credit Shifu and Ask Sebi. They're pretty active. And I'm not the type of person where I claim to know it all when it comes to travel, credit cards and stuff. I just put out what I know, my experiences, cards that I've had experience with, things that I've heard, and places that I've gone, and I try to make it more of an overall. I want to make it an overall travel channel, like where you can go and get information about travel destinations and about points, and even about travel photography, because I think we all love to take pictures when we travel. We all love to take pictures, period, most of us. But when we travel, it's just, that's everybody takes pictures when they travel. I don't care who you are. You're out there, you're going to take at least 1 or 2 pictures. So I also want to focus on I want to focus on teaching you how to take better pictures. So even if you're not really serious about photography, if you're just one of these people that wants to travel and you want to know, okay, well, what's the best camera for me to get that's under $400 that I can take and take some really good pictures that I can put on Facebook or whatever you want to do with it, but take some really good pictures. When's the best time? How do I do this? How do I use a flash for this? What's the best mirrorless camera to get, or the best DSLR camera to get for travel? So that's where I want to focus the whole photography stuff on too. But anyway, long story short, yes, we all start somewhere. So Braveheart, if you got a channel, and when you're comfortable, then put it out there, and we'll post it. So just let me know. Okay, so what are we talking about here? Just gonna read these last little comments here. Award Hacker is for booking with miles and points. It shows you where to transfer your points. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out them. I think they charge though, right? If I'm not mistaken. But still very valuable, even if they charged like a subscription fee or something. I think it would still be valuable, because there are a lot of sweet spots where you can get on there and realize and figure out, okay, if I transfer a lot of them doesn't even make sense, because like we were talking about Singapore Air earlier, you can transfer your points to Singapore Air and then you can fly on United because they're Star Alliance. So it doesn't always make sense, but they'll show you how to work it. And so yeah, I definitely want to look at Award Hacker and see what they have to offer. And I believe, I'm almost positive it was a paid site, but it would still be worth it if you can save on your flights. Let's see. Pull this up real quick. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I will check that out. So we will do a live stream in the future once I get my bearings about myself when it comes to looking at this this award hacker. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it, I should say, and see what's out there, and then let you guys know what I find out, and then we'll talk about it. But it doesn't look like it doesn't look like you have to pay anything. I mean, it looks pretty simple to use, and they have a blog too, so that's good. All right, let's read the last few questions here, and then we are going to go for the night. Okay, what are we all saying here? And Delta Reserve, Unbox Platinum. Easy Amex, do you want me to unbox Platinum Edition? Thanks for flying with my company. Okay, dope cars. I'll take it. My apologies. Okay. All right, guys. Looks like I've gone through everything. And thank you guys all for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Sunday, come back on and we'll talk some more. We'll have some new stuff on. We'll be talking about on Sunday. And like I said, if you like the channel, if you like the video, please give me a like. Please subscribe. The more the merrier. And just like today, we didn't even have a real like focus. Like usually, like I'll show a credit card or whatever. I just told you what my favorite credit card was, and then everyone else added in what their favorite cards are, and then we kind of talked about each card and the benefits and all that. So that's what I want this to be all about. I want this to be about getting points and then using those points to go to destinations that you probably wouldn't have gone to in the past because you didn't have the points, or you didn't have the money, I should say. So, all right, a few more things. Okay, guys. All right, everybody's saying bye. And yeah, we'll be on Sunday. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.